Hi and welcome to the Oculus Connect 6 Keynote live stream here on MRTV. Only 30 minutes left until Mark Zuckerberg is going to go onto the stage and tell us about the future of VR. Oh my goodness, this is really amazing. This is really exciting and I can't wait for this to happen. And well, I think all of us are super excited to find out what exactly Mark Zuckerberg is going to tell us when he goes onto the stage later. Yeah, first of all, I would like to say thank you for watching this stream here. And if you have not yet subscribed to MRTV yet, probably now is a good time because I'm bringing you all the latest news about VR and AR. Also, I'm bringing you the latest unbiased reviews about all the hardware, all the headsets here on MRTV. So if you happen not to be a subscriber of this channel, then probably now is really an amazing time to do so. All right, thank you so much for watching this. How are we going to spend the last 28 minutes now until Mark Zuckerberg is going to go onto the stage? Well, we're going to talk about what we think is going to happen on that stage later today. We're going to guess what are our guesses, what is going to be presented today. Also, I would like to do a little bit of a recap of what had been shown at Oculus, at the 3 Oculus Connect exhibitions or keynotes in the last 3 years to put this all into perspective of where we are now. And that I think would be a great way to put all of this into perspective. Wow, what an amazing, interesting and exciting time that we are here now. And of course, this is a live show, so things can go wrong. Things will probably go wrong, just to let you know about this. But you know what, guys and girls, let's have a VR celebration here together. Let's have an amazing VR celebration here together. And well, all of us who are watching this right now, I think we are all enthusiasts. I think we are all huge VR enthusiasts. And well, the Oculus Connect keynotes, this is always a time for us to come together and celebrate. All right, now what I want to do now, let me open the chat, since I really would like to know what you guys are thinking, and I would like to know now about your guesses. I would love to know what you think is going to be presented today at Oculus Connect, at the Oculus Connect keynote. So let me go to my own page now and let me see what you guys are writing here. So please do let me know what you think is going to be shown today on the Oculus Connect. So, thank you so much for $5. Thank you so much for the $5 that I received there. So, thank you so much for $5. Wait a moment, I must. Thank you so much for the $5. Okay. Quest PC streaming, all right, yeah, Quest PC streaming, that would of course be completely amazing if we were able to stream directly the Oculus Rift games to our Quest. I think that would be incredible. And Volcanize says they will announce Oculus Quest base station to stream from another device. Oh, base stations. Wow, that would be interesting. And Adam's also here. Hi, Adam. Great to have you here. Our furniture detection. Okay, Shoujo, hi, good to see you here in the stream. Maybe Oculus Rift 2 says Wowooks. Honestly speaking, I don't think so. I don't think that they're going to give us the Rift 2. Why not? I think they're not going to do that because, well, they just came out with the Rift S. And hardware-wise, I believe they're quite satisfied where they are right now. With the Quest, which is like an amazing portable system that you can bring anywhere, 6 degrees of freedom, really nice, sells like hotcakes. And then with the Rift S, which is, well, it's at a good spot, right? It's not expensive, but still it packs lots of punch for all the people who would like to have PC gaming. So I believe that Oculus is kind of happy where they are right now with their hardware. And well, the Rift S and the Quest, they just came out, right? So they just came out. It wouldn't make sense now if they would say, hey, you know what, we got the Rift 2, which is waiting for you and it's gonna come out next year. So people wouldn't buy the Rift S or the Quest. So I don't believe I don't believe that this is gonna happen. And Ozzy Safa says, you're orange. Yeah, I saw that. I just started this and I don't know why I'm orange. It's like, well, what's going to happen? I should probably become the next president of the United States now that I'm orange, right? Damn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is so today for OC6, I put that special orange orange color on, and yeah, thumbs up if you like my new orange tan, right? Thumbs up for this video if you like the new orange tan. And Jörg says, did I eat too many carrots? Honestly speaking, recently I did eat quite a lot of carrots since I do have to lose a bit of weight. Yeah, but I hope that this is not going to make me orange. Yeah, the tan looks good, right? And Dylan says, no more orange presidents, please. Well, I must honestly tell you guys, I would really be surprised if I became the president of the United States. Well, I believe they would be amazing for my channel, though. The orange carrots strikes again. Great success. No adult beverage. No. Yeah, probably that's the reason why I have orange skin right now. Anyways, let's not talk about my orange tan. Let's instead talk about the OC6 keynote, which is going to go down in 21 minutes, and we're all here to watch it together. Yeah, so I don't think Rift 2 is going to happen. They're happy with what they have right now, right, with the Quest and with the Rift S. So what I personally believe that actually this is going to be about software, that they are going to give us dates for certain games, like for example Stormland, and that everything is going to be more concrete, and probably they're going to even tell us about some new AAA games that none of us have ever thought about. So I'm sure there's going to be some surprises software wise, and I'm really looking forward to these games. We need more games, we all know that, right? We're kind of in a good place with hardware, right? We just got the Rift S and stuff, and we got other headsets too, which are great, right? Like the Index. So I believe now what we all need are more AAA games, and Oculus, they have shown us time and time again that they are ready to deliver, right? Lone Echo. Probably we're going to hear lots more about Lone Echo 2, and probably there's going to be some surprises that we're going to hear about in 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes left. Yes, and I'm sure they're going to be on time. Yeah, what else has been leaked or has been like teased? Well, it seems like that hand tracking is a go. Hand tracking for the Rift S. So Facebook, they have just like teased a picture which is like hands which show 6, and it seems like that these hands are being shown like through the Rift S. So it could happen that we're going to see the Rift S allowing for hand tracking with the cameras that the Rift S has. Well, the Rift S has quite a few cameras, right? So therefore, I believe this is already something which we can say that, okay, this is going to be shown at Oculus Connect 6, hand tracking for the Rift S. Exciting. So what do you guys think? Do you also think that we're going to hear more about an AR headset? Please do let me know in the chat right now. Do you believe there's going to be some news about an AR headset from Oculus? Because they did tease a bit that there's going to be some AR news. So say yes if you think there's going to be some AR news during Oculus Connect 6, and say no, like Öltier did, if you think that there's not going to be any AR news. So Meister Lou says yes, and Nasser Lopez says yes, and Dylan says, oh, I hope so. And Clash Royale says maybe the AR glasses. Orion Tech says yes, and Krugel also hopes so. And Richry79 says free pizza for Quest users. Oh yeah, I could use some pizza. I mean, yeah, I can't. It seems like I have to stop eating carrots. I'm way too orange. Yeah. So most of you guys think that there's going to be AR. Yeah, some AR news. And DK Next says AR for the Rift S. Yeah, perhaps. And VR Legion, hi VR Legion. VR Legion says he would prefer a free Quest with a pizza. Yeah, that makes so much sense, VR Legion. That makes so much sense. I would totally subscribe for that. Yeah, so wow, AR would be cool. Definitely Oculus and Facebook, they are definitely also going into this direction because, well, AR is going to be a huge topic. Probably not in 2019, and the hardware might be a couple of years away, but at one point AR is going to take over, and well, we'll still enjoy our VR games, and we're still going to go into the virtual worlds, but AR is going to be a topic that is on everyone's minds and on everyone's heads, since, well, it's going to be quite a ubiquitous thing, something that at the moment, like smartphones are, right? People are going to wear these headsets everywhere, and it's going to be like a huge mass market thing at one point in time. So definitely makes sense that Oculus also researches into that. And yeah, I don't know, probably we're going to hear some AR through the Rift S first, this kind of VR AR, where the cameras of these inside-out headsets are being used to bring some augmented reality into the mix. We will definitely find out in only 15 minutes what is going to start. So in 15 minutes, Oculus Connect Keynote is going to start, and you will be able to watch it here if everything works according to plan. Again, this is a live show, a live stream. I will do everything to make it happen, and I think it's going to work out. So, so we will see about that. We will see about that. Everything is going to go down in 15 minutes. Yeah, what about a Quest Pro with Snapdragon 855? Asks Dark2Deeds. I don't think this is going to happen. They just came out, right, with the Quest, so that I don't think that's gonna happen. And Dallas Payday 3, thank you so much for 20 Swedish crowns. Do you have any Star VR news? I do not have any Star VR news, but if I have Star VR news, obviously I'm going to go live right away here. So if you have not yet clicked on that bell button of orange MRTV Sebastian, then do that now, because, well, then you will never miss any breaking news here on the channel. And Super 7 hopes for a Half Dome comeback. Probably we're going to hear something about Half Dome, because, well, Half Dome is a technology that they've been researching on, and I don't believe that they just stopped the research, right? They're still researching on making the best possible VR technology possible, right? Even though this might not be a product really soon, but why not? They can tell us a bit more about the research that they're doing. And Norman says 15 minutes, starting to feel like 15 months. Oh my goodness, yeah. Now it's 14 minutes, only 14 minutes left. Yeah, I know, I look so orange. I have no idea what's the matter right now. I really don't know. It's the carrots. I should eat less of them. Okay, what do we have? Vulcanized says, Minecraft would be a nice announcement. Yeah, would be. And there's Paradise Decay. Hey, Paradise Decay. Do you also belong to the group of people who get not, who does not have the funds or to go to Oculus Connect? We still have to stay here in good old Europe. Probably one fine day, Paradise, we are also going to be flown to the Oculus Connect. Probably Oculus Connect 7. That would be too nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Hand strap for hand tracking. I don't think they will need a hand strap for that. I think they will be totally fine with only the the cameras which are built into the Rift S or the Quest. But I believe it's going to happen on the Rift S. I don't believe it's going to happen on the Quest, since the Quest is already so busy with computing everything with the Snapdragon, which is already inside the Quest. So I don't believe that this finger and hand tracking is going to happen in the Quest. That would be a big surprise for me. So I believe hand tracking and finger tracking is going to happen in the Rift S, since we have all the computing power from the computer. Yeah. So that is, I think, what is going to happen. Yeah, why don't we talk a bit now? We have 12 minutes left. Why don't we talk a bit now what actually were the big announcements of Oculus Connect 3, 4, and 5 in the last 3 years. So let's have a look at what was the big news of Oculus Connect 3. So 3 years ago, let me find it now. Let me find it for you. I'm looking it up right now. 3 years ago, Oculus Connect 3. Let me just find it. So Mark Zuckerberg went on stage and he told the public in Oculus Connect 3 that a new standalone headset is in the works. So at that point in time, they teased the Go, but without saying that it's going to be called Go. And well, they said it's going to be in the middle between the computer, the PC, the Rift, and the Gear VR. So this was the big news of Oculus Connect 3. Also, the Oculus Touch controllers, they got a launch date, which was then December of the same year. Also, they did announce that Oculus will sell $49 in-ear headphones. That were the big news of Oculus Connect 3. Then 1 year later, at Oculus Connect 4, we heard, actually the Oculus Go was revealed. The Oculus Go was revealed, the name was revealed, and it was revealed that it's the specs were revealed, and that is going to be $199. Wow, that was pretty amazing at that time. I can remember it. I was thinking like, wow, they are doing all the right things here with this kind of price point, right? That was like pretty amazing, $199. And yeah, that was the big announcement of Oculus Connect 4. Also, they did tease the next move for standalone, and that was the Oculus Santa Cruz, right? They gave an update to that Santa Cruz, and we heard more about the Oculus Santa Cruz, which of course is the Oculus Quest. And we heard that the Rift will stay cheap at $399. So before they put the price point of the Oculus Rift down to $399 in that summer of Rift, and then at this Oculus Connect they said, okay, you know what guys, the price is going to stay like that. Right. Right, right, right. Very cool. Then Oculus Connect 5 last year. Oculus Connect 5, of course, the big announcement. The Oculus Quest. The Oculus Quest was announced and it was revealed. We saw nice trailers and we all had a good time, and we heard that the price tag is $399, and that was pretty amazing. Again, they really want to go to the mass market with these kind of prices. I still believe that $399 is such an amazing price for the Oculus Quest. It has, it has 6 degrees of freedom tracking for the headset, for the controllers. It's an amazing headset. We all have it now, right? I even have more than one, and it's an amazing headset. And at that point, the $399 price point was a really amazing price. Yeah, that was last year. So all of the headsets are now revealed. Oh, what else did they say last year? Let me have a look. Yeah, Oculus Go got venues. Probably some of you are going to watch this in venues today, the live stream, and yeah. But of course, Quest was the most important. Yeah, that was the last 3 years. And looking forward, what's going to happen in 7 minutes. Oh wow, PD, you could have gone. You could have gone to Oculus Connect 6, but you have a medical issue with your right eye. Oh no. Oh no, that's so sad. Sorry to hear that, PD. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's really sad that you cannot fly because of that. Oh my goodness. Anyways, now you're watching the live stream here on MRTV, which is also cool, and you see orange Sebastian. Orange Sebastian here for the first time on MRTV. Cool. We have 7 more minutes to go. 7 more minutes to go to watch the live stream. 7 more minutes to go to watch. Now 6 minutes. 6 minutes to go to watch Mark Zuckerberg go onto the stage and to deliver to us all the exciting VR and perhaps also AR news. Thank you, PD. Best place to be. Yeah. So the Zuck is going to go on stage and probably going to tell us about hand tracking and finger tracking. Probably going to tell us more about exciting new VR games. Probably going to tell us when exactly we can play Stormland and when we can play all the other Oculus exclusive games. Probably going to tell us about a new game that none of us ever heard about. So this is indeed super exciting. And Norman Robinson says, I'm dying here with the time that's left for this announcement. Yeah, still only 6 minutes. 6 minutes, and we have 423 people watching this now. Hello, 423 people watching this live stream. The OC Keynote, OC6 Keynote is going to happen in 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes I'm going to show you the live stream here on MRTV, and then you don't have to watch my orange face here today. So again, if you don't know this channel yet, if you don't know MRTV yet, this is a channel all about VR and AR. Here you're going to get all of the latest VR and AR news, and you're getting all of the VR headset reviews. I have all of the VR headsets here. I recently got the Pimax 8K Plus. It's going to be reviewed here on the channel really soon. So if you have not yet subscribed to MRTV yet, do so now and click on the bell button so you don't miss anything. All right, still 5 minutes to go. 4 minutes to go until we hear about all the exciting news about all the VR future and AR news of Oculus. And Generation Z says, I'm hungry for VR. Me too. I am so hungry for VR, and I'm so hungry to hear about what Oculus has in the works. So actually every year whenever the Oculus Connect started, I mean, every year when the Oculus Connect went down, there was like one announcement which kind of blew me away. And so I believe we are in for some surprises here. And hi, Mo. Mo is also here watching Orange Sebastian talk in English. And yeah, getting you guys a bit more excited for the Oculus Connect 6 keynote, which is going to go down in 3 minutes now. In 3 minutes. Let me have a look if something is already happening. Let me just check. Oh yeah, going live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And then of course, I'm going to switch over to show this to you. Oh yeah. So only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left before I'm going to switch over to Facebook, to Oculus Connect, Oculus Connect 6. And we're all going to watch this together. We're all going to chat here together about all the exciting things that are going to be revealed. And we got another 20 Swedish crowns. And we got 10 euros. Wow, wow, thank you so much. And Scooby Flying hopes for open PC support for Oculus Quest and Flight Sims. Yeah, I hope so too. And Dallas says, any news about the high-end Acer Concept OHO HMD? Yes, the news is it's not going to come out in Germany. And this probably also means that it's not going to come out in Sweden. So that is, of course, quite sad news. Only, oh my God, we're getting closer now. We're getting really close now. It's going live in 1 minute and 30 seconds. And yeah, then we're going to watch together what is going to go down at Oculus Connect. Oh my goodness. So yeah, very soon, very soon, we will be able to watch Oculus Connect 6 keynote. And I believe that Mark Zuckerberg is now excited about getting ready to go onto the stage. Oh yes, and I'm excited too. I'm excited too, of course. Wow, I'm really excited now. I am super excited now. Are you excited too? Say yes. Please say yes if you are excited too about all the news that are going to go down and about Oculus Connect 6. Stream is going to go live very soon. I'm getting ready to go over there. The stream is not live yet. The stream is going to go live within 1 minute. So definitely I will go over there very soon. So getting ready now. I'm getting ready to make this happen. So, my dear friends, getting ready now to make it happen for you. Should be live any second now. We are waiting for the keynote, and here we go.
What if we could get...
What if we can...
If I could figure this out just a little more realistic.
Yeah, okay, I see.
This doesn't work.
What if we try to optimize the assets first? If we combine VR and immersive theater, if we could...
What if I time slice the boat simulation?
If we could just shave 1 millisecond.
If I could visualize...
What if we could get the details so crisp?
Welcome to OC6. We have a lot of awesome stuff to go through and show you all today. But first, I wanted to start off by, I've been saying for a while that we think that augmented and virtual reality are going to be the next major computing platform. And I just wanted to start off by talking for a little bit about why. Back even before I started Facebook, when I was still in college, I was studying psychology and computer science. Right? Because for a lot of us here, it's not just about building technology. It's about building technology that works the way that we do. And the first thing that you learn in Psychology 101 is you go through the anatomy of the brain, and you start learning just how much our brains have evolved and how most of them is really about connecting and communicating with other people. And so we have the language centers that almost no other animal has. You have the visual cortex, where we're especially dialed in to understanding people's emotions, right? If you're talking to someone and they move their eyebrow a millimeter or their cheek a little bit, you're going to notice because that means a completely different thing, whereas if something moves over there, you're probably not even going to pay attention. We have our mirror neurons that when we're interacting with another person, we understand what's going on in them and inside of us. So we experience the world through this feeling of presence and the interactions that we get with other people, which is why Facebook's technology vision has always been about putting people at the center of your computing experience. And we've mostly done that so far through building apps. And I don't think it's an accident that a lot of the top used and biggest apps that are out there are social experiences that put people at the center of the experience, because that's how we process things. But there's only so much that you can do with apps, right, without also shaping and improving the underlying platform. And I find it shocking that we're here in 2019 and our phones and our computers are still organized around apps and tasks and not people and the things that we're actually there present with. So, I feel like we can help all of us together deliver a unique contribution to this field by helping to ensure that the next platform changes this. And the defining aspect of augmented and virtual reality is that they deliver this sense of presence, right, that no other technology platform before has ever delivered. You feel like you're right there with another person or in another place. And now, sure, we have a lot of work to do before we're going to get to that perfect form factor that we all want. But you can already see glimpses today of how the devices that we're all working on are helping to deliver a feeling where we are more present with the people that we're interacting with there, not less, like a lot of the other platforms that are out there today. So longer term, and I think that this is going to add up to a lot of really big changes. We're going to be able to live anywhere that we want and be able to feel like we're present with the people and the jobs and opportunities that we want to have access to anywhere we want. So that's why I'm so excited about this. And I know that a lot of you are working on this because you're excited about similar things, and it's awesome to be on this journey together. So now, in order to do this, we need to build we need to do a couple of things. The first is we need to build a lot of technology that's going to help advance and deliver this feeling of presence. The second thing that we need to do is build an ecosystem of all the experiences that need to be delivered here. So on the ecosystem side, the first step that we need to reach is reaching critical mass in the community. And once we get to a certain size in the community, it's going to become economical for all developers, from the independent folks up to the biggest AAA developers that are out there to build content for VR. And once we reach that point, the amount of content is just going to explode, and that's going to push adoption further. So in getting there, Quest is off to a great start. It's only been on sale for about 4 months now, and we are selling them as fast as we can make them. But even more importantly, though, is that retention is good. Right? So people are using it week after week after week, which is a great signal for how the content ecosystem is getting stronger, and VR is becoming something that more people are stepping in and out of on a day-to-day basis, rather than this kind of one-off special experience that you need all this different equipment for and you need to dedicate a whole room in your house to. So these are all really good signs. And to get to critical mass, we're focused on building forward compatibility into all the new devices that we build so that all the content that you're all making just works across everything now and going forward. So the goal is that if you develop something for Quest today, then our goal is to make it work on all future Quests as well. And that means that when you buy a Quest, that you're not just buying something that's going to be locked in time, that as all the new content is built for the future, it's going to get better. And also, as we deliver major software updates, the platform is also just going to dramatically improve. And that's going to be a big theme of what we want to talk about today. But of course, the biggest part of this depends on all the awesome stuff that you're building. So we need to build an ecosystem that supports all of you, which is why I am proud to share the news that as of today, people have bought more than $100 million of content in the Oculus store. And since Quest came out just several months ago, more than 20% of that is from Quest already and growing really quickly. So I just want to take a moment at the start of this conference to thank all of you who are really the ones who are pushing this ecosystem and community forward. So thank you, guys. All right, so the experiences that you're all building for Rift are as good as it gets in VR. But right now, when you build something for Rift, that library of content isn't available to people who are on Quest. So, we've been looking at what we can do here. And we want to, so the first thing that we want to announce today is we've been looking at how we can make this possible. So we've made a major software update, and we have a new product that we're calling Oculus Link that is going to make it so that if you have a gaming PC and a USB-C cable, you're now going to be able to run all the Rift content on your Quest. So this means that starting in November, when we ship this update, your Quest is basically a Rift now too. So now this is going to work with most USB-C cables that are out there. So you don't have to buy ours, but we've also designed a dedicated cable that's going to maximize the throughput here. It's going to charge your Quest if your PC supports that too, and it's long enough that it makes sure that it provides you with maximum flexibility and freedom of movement. So you're going to want to check this out. We're shipping it in November, and we're really excited to get this out there. So that's one major software update that we wanted to talk about. But I want to move on to another one that's about to make your Quest a lot better too. So a lot of the technologies that we're working on here are foundational, not just for virtual reality, but also for the future of what we want to do with augmented reality too. And one of the really foundational things that we feel like we want to improve and make a lot better is input. Because in the future, you're going to be able to interact with digital objects with your hands, or just as naturally as you can with physical objects in the world. Now, I'm sure that a lot of you remember the first time that you tried out touch controllers, right? And how awesome it was. You were just able to look down in virtual reality and reach out and grab something or throw it and do something with it. And it really just added this whole element to the experience. But as soon as we made that possible, it immediately opened up this bigger question, which is, okay, how can we do even better? How can we make it so that instead of having to use hand controllers, we can just use our hands? And I am excited to announce that early next year, we're launching hand tracking on Quest. All right, want to see it? Let's check this out. All right. So this means no controllers, no buttons, no straps, no external sensors, just full range of motion in your hands. And even if you've spent a lot of time in VR and you've spent a lot of time with touch controllers, I think that the first time that you get a chance to experience this and you just wiggle your fingers and you see that full range of motion in your hands, it takes the experience to a whole new level. And you're going to get a chance to try this out on the demo floor after the keynote today. So I'm really excited to get this into all of your hands. So, this is what I mean when I talk about building a platform that improves over time. Right, 6 months ago, if you wanted to get into VR, you needed a PC, cables, sensors, hand controllers, and half a dozen physical objects. And now, soon, it's just going to be a headset that you can bring with you anywhere that you go, that is full inside-out tracking, completely wireless, and now your hands are just going to be there too. So there's a lot of work that we still need to do to get to where we all want. But I think what you're starting to see is the hardware is getting out of the way. And with each step, we're getting to a more immersive and natural experience. All right, so now I want to talk about the future of input for a minute, though. Because hand tracking is great. It doesn't require controllers, but it still requires you to use your hands. And in the future, we want to get to an input where we can just think something and it happens. So what people call a neural interface. And earlier this week, we announced that the Control Labs team will be joining us. And they're the leading team working on neural interfaces. They have a lot of the best researchers, computational neuroscientists, and more. And they're working on a wristband, right? And it picks up electrical impulses that are sent through your nervous system and turns them into digital signals that you can use as input in virtual and augmented reality. And it's completely non-invasive, right? There's no surgery, no implants. You don't have to get holes drilled in your head. It's just a wristband. And so it gives you the sensation of being able to interact with digital objects just by thinking. And this is clearly early, right? It's gonna be a number of years before this gets into any of the products that we're shipping, but it works. And they have a dev kit that they're shipping already now. And now that the Control Labs team is going to be joining our Facebook Reality Labs team that works on augmented and virtual reality, we're going to invest and make sure that this is a foundational part of the input for the next computing platform. And I'm really excited about this one, so I just wanted to talk about it for a few minutes today. All right, so the last thing that I want to talk about up front today is delivering a social experience in VR. Right, so I talked about for a while how our technology vision is putting people at the center of the computing experience. And a big part of how we do this is by building technology that advances the feeling of presence, right? So more immersive, getting the hardware out of the way, better, natural, more UI, better, more realistic avatars, which we'll talk about later. So that's one part of it. The other part is basically building the software experiences that put people at the center of the experience. And that's kind of our bread and butter as a company, right? We build a lot of the best social experiences for phones and for computers, and we want to do this in virtual reality as well. So great social experiences usually aren't just a place where you interact, right? They give you the ability to define the space around you. And so we've been working on something that does this in virtual reality. It's kind of a virtual reality take on this. And we've been working on this for a while, and today we want to announce an experience that we've been working on called Horizon. And in Horizon, you are going to be able to build your own worlds and experiences. You're going to be able to play games. You're going to be able to explore. You're going to be able to hang out with your friends and, of course, meet new people. And because everyone is going to be able to create their own spaces and experiences within it, Horizon is going to have this property where it just grows and expands and gets better and better over time as we focus on building this out for many years to come. So let's take a look at this.
Beyond our world, there's another world. And it's right here, on my face. Welcome
This is Horizon. Think of me as your guide / self-appointed spokes avatar, here to show you around. You know, Horizon is filled with possibilities. You can play stuff, make stuff, fly stuff. Whoa! Really love the stash, Stuart.
What up, Stuart?
Wait, I want a mustache. Horizon isn't about rules or limits or pants or people telling you not to fly an airplane while drinking your fresh ground, fair trade, French press morning coffee through a curly straw. Isn't that right, Debbie? Mm-hmm. It's about getting out there and trying new things, making your mark, making friends with an Australian named Mark.
Oh, actually, I'm from New Zealand.
And you can even build a world of your own, like laser tag moon landing. Or this islandy place with these cutie patooties. Boop. In Horizon, the world is your lobster.
Isn't it oyster?
That too. So come, join us. A never-ending, ever-changing world beyond your world is waiting! Woo! Debbie gets it!
All right, so we've built Horizon to be a welcoming and inclusive community from day one. A lot of the social tools that power it are the same ones that we built over the years to power Facebook and Instagram as well. There's a whole range of expressive and diverse avatars to get us started. And the best part is that the creator experience is built right into VR. So you don't need to be able to code in order to create something, although that can certainly help in building some of the more advanced things. You don't need to take off your headset in order to make something. You can make some really neat stuff in just a couple of hours if you want, and then invite your friends in and have experiences and hang out with them right there. So this is early, but this is another step towards building the kind of social infrastructure that we believe is going to be important in the future. So you should be able to hang out with your friends, join groups, create events, share ideas in VR, just like you can online. And of course, now you're going to be able to do it with that added feeling of presence, like you're right there with the people who you're talking about, that no other technology platform that has existed before delivers. So we are launching this next year. We're putting the finishing touches on it now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you all do with it. So that's... All right, so in a lot of ways, it's kind of hard to believe that this is only our 6th Connect, right? Because it's pretty amazing how far the technology and how far our community have come in just a short number of years. At the very first Connect, about 5 years ago, the Oculus team had just joined us, and we showed an early demo of the Crescent Bay technology, which of course went on to become the Oculus Rift. And a couple of years later, it went on sale for $600, plus you needed a $1,000 gaming PC and all the cables that we showed earlier to make this work. And now here we are, and we're shipping a hand tracking on a wireless headset that costs $399, that fits in a shoebox, and you can take it anywhere that you want. And our community here is well on the way to building a strong ecosystem with all of the content and awesome stuff that you guys are all building. So this is going to be the next computing platform. And it's only going to get more exciting and awesome and important from here. And this is one of the areas where I am just so grateful to have a chance to be on this journey with all of you. So I hope you have a great rest of this Connect, and I hope you enjoy everything else we're going to show you. And now I'm going to hand it off to Boz, who leads all of the augmented and virtual reality efforts at Facebook. All right, have a great day.
Now, we know what makes virtual reality powerful. It lets you suspend physics. There are things you can do in the headset that you can accomplish no other way. You see this power in games, in media, in business, but Facebook's ambitions are far greater than that. We are building a future that allows you to defy distance. Because we know that physical distance can translate into emotional distance. And we ask, what is it that allows people to feel close to each other? 3 social psychologists took on that question and produced the Relationship Closeness Inventory, which suggests that there are 3 dimensions to closeness. First is the frequency of your interactions, just how often you interact with somebody. Then there's the diversity of your interactions, how many different types of things you do together. And then finally, there's the strength of your interactions, which is how much does someone influence your decisions. Every single one of these dimensions is easier if you're physically near someone. But we have demands on our lives that sometimes separate us from a few miles, and sometimes they separate us by continents. And VR could be the tool that erases those miles. Let's start with frequency. It's pretty straightforward. If you're not physically near someone, it is harder to connect with them very often. And it's easy to see how VR could help. You could both teleport to the same place as often as you like, no matter where you are in the physical world. And the same things that prevent you from being physically together also limit the range of activities you can engage in together. Phone calls and text messaging are great, but there's not a lot of variety in interaction there. Meanwhile, in virtual reality, you can have a much greater diversity of experiences than you could have even if you were physically together. Our library already has more than 1,000 different experiences people can engage in, right? Because of all of you, people can have fun together no matter where they are in the world. They can create art, they can defeat enemies. You know, my personal favorite, they can dance. World's smallest dance, just there, you saw it. So the final area of relationship closeness is strength. And I have moments in my life with people that I care about where just being physically present with them is enough. That kind of relationship is hard to sustain over distance. With VR, this kind of intimacy doesn't have to be bound by time zone. You know, while we can maybe just glimpse it today, I'm convinced that in the future, this kind of profound presence with the people we care the most about should be possible in VR. So overall, I would say, while we get a sense of human closeness in VR today, we don't experience it nearly often enough, and it's just a glimmer of what it should be. So let's talk about the work it's going to take to get there. So when it comes to frequency, this is actually pretty straightforward. We just need more people to have access to VR. And we're working on that. We're building better VR headsets. You know, we're already working on headsets that have better displays, better optics, better compute, all to make it more comfortable and more immersive and more inviting for people to get a headset and put it on. We also need to give people more reasons to put the headset on, and that gets towards the diversity. You know, we have some amazing titles in our catalog and more to come, but our categories are still far too narrow. And then when it comes to strength, we have to continue to pursue our vision of presence. Actually, getting hands in the headset is a pretty good first step. Our avatars continue to make progress, but they're still not nearly expressive enough. And these are all just the building blocks we need to make VR a tool to enable greater human connection. When I think about the future we're building towards, I think a little bit about the relationship I have with my dad. Now, I'm a big Warriors fan, and I'm only a Warriors fan or even a basketball fan because of how much I enjoy watching games with my father, who is reliably wearing a tie-dyed shirt. Now, VR makes it possible for my dad to invite me over to watch a game. You know, to teleport into his living room and sit together on his couch, just like we've always done.
Just amazing work. When you rise, you'll be all grown. You ride the waves out into the sun.
Excuse me one second. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
I'm actually working right now.
I'm just about to watch the game. I want you here. Andrew, I miss you. Come on, huh?
Well, look, I mean, I miss you too, Dad, but, you know, I'm at work right now.
If you love me, you'd meet me here. I'll see you at home.
Yeah, 1 second.
Give you what you give to me, and twice your weight in luxury.
Found a nice place in Portland. Thompson for three.
Yeah, boy, you good to
You know, you really can't miss the lawyers. Clay's like an artist. He is a Picasso. He's better than Picasso.
Man, you know better than to get me started on Clay, because I will talk all day about that artistry.
Can you get beers here? You know, like an IPA or something?
We're still a couple years away from having beers in the headsets, Dad.
Now, it isn't the same as being there, but I tell you, that might be the next best thing. That is a really accurate representation of what it's like to watch a game with my dad, except there'd be a lot more complaints about traveling. So I want all of us to be able to have that experience in VR, things that we care about with the people that we care about. And this is one of the demos that you'll be able to try out later on the show floor, being in a space that's been reconstructed with someone else. So we know that VR has the power to bring us closer together. It is and will remain the most powerful way for us to connect across distance. But here's the thing. Even VR has its limits. There are scenarios where people will struggle to connect in VR. Look at all of us. We're here in the same room. If we all had VR headsets on, that could be a little antisocial. Or consider the scenario with my dad. But let's add one little twist. Let's say my friend has joined me and wants to watch the Warriors game with us, but he's physically sitting right next to me. Well, it's true, he could put a headset on and join us in VR, but then we're sacrificing the richness of actually being together, and that doesn't feel great. So we ask ourselves, what can a technology like augmented reality do to help us feel closer? Today, our interactions with our phones split our attention. We cannot look at our phones without looking away from the world around us. But augmented reality could make it possible to connect with the people who are near us and far from us at the same time. And through AR, there will be an infinite, diverse expanse of things for people to do and to see, synchronous shared experiences that can deepen relationships. AR will also let you connect with people no matter where they are, even if you're walking down the street, something that's very, very hard to do in virtual reality. To get to this future, we are building AR glasses. Now, we have a few working prototypes, but these are still a few years out. So in the meantime, we're focusing on the deep tech stack necessary to bring these to life. Today, Spark AR is the largest augmented reality platform for the phone. And we're working on deepening the technology to bridge the physical and digital divides. At Facebook Reality Labs, our research teams are starting to build the core infrastructure that will underpin tomorrow's AR experiences. We call this research Live Maps. It's a shared virtual map of the world that involves machine perception, computer vision, and a bunch of core technologies in software and hardware that will also be important for virtual reality. Now, what does this research look like? Imagine the same reconstruction I did with my dad, where we were sitting in a room together, but this time at planet scale. Rather than reconstructing your surroundings in real time, the glasses are going to tap into pre-existing 3D maps of the space. Avatars come into play here too. With a 3D space, avatars could teleport anywhere in the world. You'll also be able to search and share information about the real world just as easily as you can the online world today. And a powerful assistant can bring you information that you need in an instant. At its core, technology like this and on this scale will rely on crowdsourced information captured by connected devices. Here's a closer look.
The world around us is constantly in motion. We need a new kind of map to help navigate this ever-changing landscape. A map like this is about more than just moving through the physical world. It's about enhancing the way we interact with each other and our surroundings. The vision of our Live Maps research is to bridge the physical and virtual divide to bring people closer together. To achieve this, Live Maps uses machine perception to construct multi-layer representations of the world, showing where you are in space, recognizing what things look like, and understanding the intrinsic meaning of objects. Connected devices, like smartphones and AR glasses, will scan the surroundings to create a live dynamic index. amplified by crowdsourced data, allowing the maps to recognize when things have changed and update automatically. Ultimately, our Live Maps research aims to empower people to connect and share in deeper, more meaningful ways. Whether it's improving how we access information, or understanding the context of a situation, to deliver shared experiences through augmented reality, or proactively serving up relevant information in highly personalized ways. Live Maps will one day transform how we all engage with the world, making it feel more immediate, more intuitive, more natural, more human.
With Live Maps research, we're exploring today how the world will be experienced tomorrow. So all of these technologies are being built to help people feel closer. We're building new VR headsets, we're building immersive experiences, we are building AR glasses, all to enable more frequent, more diverse, and stronger connections, to enable closeness. And with that, I'd like to introduce Stephanie Liu to the stage to share more about how we're building the best VR platform. Thank you.
I can't wait to see what the future of AR and VR holds. Together, we're building that future. Over the years, we've been working nonstop to enable a sustainable ecosystem for you, our developers, and our users. Our VR headsets form the core of our ecosystem. Go is great for entertainment, while Rift S continues to unlock the most rich, immersive experiences. And Quest? What can I say? Quest is changing the game. You simply can't beat this combination of content, form factor, and price. We want to double down and unlock the hardware's true potential through our software innovations. So today, I'll share some updates that we've made to our core experiences, along with improvements to our software, to our development features and tools. And finally, I'll talk about how we're pushing the bounds of what's possible in VR. Let's take a look. Since Quest launched, we've already incorporated many top user requests through our monthly updates, including more Guardian settings, casting support for Beat Saber, and the ability to launch apps straight from your phone so you can help guide a friend while they check out your Quest. And that's just to name a few. We're not stopping there. We've got a ton of new stuff in the works, including one that's been one of your favorites on Rift S. I'm excited to share that an upgraded version of Pass-Through, Pass-Through Plus, will be available for Quest users starting next week. Pass-Through Plus gives you a comfortable, stereo-correct view of your surroundings while you're wearing the headset, and it's useful for any time you step outside your play space. To make this possible on Quest, we've applied techniques from high-performance image processing and advanced 3D computation, resulting in a similar visual quality to what you'll see on Rift S. And what's even better, with Pass-Through On Demand shipping later this year, you can pull up Pass-Through Plus at any time. So the next time you hear your friend trying to steal your pizza off the kitchen counter, turn on Pass-Through Plus to catch them in the act, then get back to slicing pineapples in Fruit Ninja. Time and again, we've heard the community ask for this next feature. Oculus Go has been an entry point to VR for many people who then upgraded to Quest. We've heard from these VR fans and developers alike that there are tons of amazing Go apps that you'd love to experience on Quest. I'm pleased to announce that we're bringing a bunch of really popular Oculus Go apps to Quest. And there's more. We're also offering free upgrades. So owners of paid Go apps can get the Quest version if it already exists. If you own, say, Thumper on Go but never got around to buying it on Quest, between now and the end of the year, we'll upgrade you for free. And starting next week, there will be more than 50 of the most popular Oculus Go apps available to Quest users. So that's some pretty cool stuff, right? Now let's talk about some new tools for you, our dev community. We want to make it easier for you to develop amazing experiences, promote them for people to discover, and connect to more customers. You've shown that it's possible to build high-quality, performant VR apps in a mobile chipset, and we are committed to making it easier by giving you more tools to profile and debug. We've contributed to RenderDoc, the open-source frame debugger, so that it supports all of our extensions and uses less RAM. This means it will run more smoothly on Quest. We're also improving RenderDoc to report out more performance data. And later this year, we'll be enhancing our OVR metrics tool so you can see more metrics right in the headset while your application is running. Or you can view on a computer and save the information for later. We've also added support for Vulkan multi-view and fixed foveated rendering in our platform and in Unreal Engine. This can boost performance significantly. And later this year, we'll expand our Vulkan support to include on Quest to include Unity and Vulkan validation layers for easier debugging. And speaking of Unity, you may have seen that we've recently enabled Unity's GPU profiler on Quest and Go. We're also working with Qualcomm to develop a low-level GPU profiling API. This will give you more detailed information to increase accuracy in pinpointing and resolving performance issues. Now, with all of this, our goal is to make it easier and faster for you to create the next generation of VR experiences. And once you've built an app, we want to help you more effectively reach your audience and understand how your app is performing. That's why, later this fall, we'll be adding purchase funnel metrics into our developer analytics dashboard. We're providing you new metrics on Quest to help you understand how your app is performing in the store. You'll be able to explore the dashboard to view conversions, as well as metrics related to browsing, searching, and engagement with your product detail page. Now you can measure the quality and impact of your art and product pitch so you can test, refine, and improve. Another great way to promote your app, mixed reality capture for Quest. This lets you mix real life and VR footage into a single video. It's an awesome way to force multiply your marketing efforts for your apps and get people really excited about VR. Yeah, you can clap for that. We recently shipped the ability for you, our developers, to create these mixed reality videos. It's already supported in our Unity and Unreal integrations. And later this fall, we'll be adding native support, along with a tool to make it just as easy for content creators to be producing these mixed reality videos. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. We're also working on features that are good for customers and for you by giving you the flexibility to reach and connect to a wider audience no matter what device you build on. You heard Mark talk about how we'll open up the ability to play Rift apps on Quest later this year. This is especially great for Rift developers who've been with us since the very beginning. Your reach extends when more people can access the content that you've created. It means you can build high-end PC experiences and also take advantage of the biggest possible market. Quest owners who have a gaming PC will have access to the deep library of stellar Rift content. They'll have the best of both worlds, the best games from Rift when connected to a PC, and the portability of a Quest. And now, PC gamers who are deciding between Rift or Quest have even more options. Remote rendering is fantastic for development, too. You can iterate more quickly by running on a PC while streaming the output to your Quest. Simply hit the play button for the Unity or Unreal Oculus plugin, and you'll be able to preview right on the device. No need to compile and transfer new APK first. This is, yeah, I know. I'm excited about it. It's development at PC speed for a mobile device. And beyond what we're shipping today, we're also imagining, innovating, and building things for the future. Things like hand tracking, which will revolutionize input for VR. This is going to be a game changer. It will unlock new and intuitive interactions in your apps like never before. And we've all seen how truly magical it is when the hardware melts away and you can interact naturally in VR. We've pushed on engineering boundaries to unlock this capability that was on Quest that was previously thought to be impossible, and we're doing it just a few short months after Quest launched. Let's take a look at the computer vision magic that makes this all possible. Our hand tracking team has developed state-of-the-art methods of applying deep learning to understand the location and pose of your hands using just the onboard Quest cameras. No need for additional cameras, active depth sensors, or extra processors. Instead, we use model-based tracking and deep neural networks to accurately infer where your hands are and what they're doing, including exactly what your fingers are doing. And then we reconstruct those poses nearly instantly into VR. We're doing all of this in a mobile processor without compromising CPU or GPU. And we're also using our inclusive AI frameworks to test hand tracking for a wide range of people and environments. Early next year, we'll release a beta for Quest users, and we'll ship an SDK so that you can start unlocking these new interaction mechanics in your apps. With incredible software innovations like hand tracking and an ever-growing ecosystem of people hungry for more VR experiences, we are just getting started, and we're so excited that you're with us. I can't wait to see what we'll build together. Now, to talk about how we're building our platform to be social at the core, here's Megan Fitzgerald.
We all know that VR can enable meaningful connections, but there's still a ways to go until it's as easy, seamless, and fun as it should be to find and form communities in VR. To get there, we need to enable more ways for communities to form and grow, and more things for them to do and share. We think about this in 3 ways. First, social interaction should be possible across everything in VR. So we're building social features that let people connect, communicate, and share. Next, people need places to go and things to do. So we're building dedicated social places where you can meet people and find great new experiences. And finally, creators, builders, and community leaders need the tools to invent entirely new media, games, and even worlds in VR. This is how communities will be empowered to connect, create, and expand. And we want to do all of this at the scale of Facebook. So starting later this year, we will begin to roll out a completely new social layer across the Oculus platform powered by Facebook. You'll see some changes in how social features work on the platform. You'll log in with your Facebook account to use the social features Facebook is known for while using your Oculus identity. This is going to enable a lot of new ways to connect on the Oculus platform. We're adding chats, so you can message your Oculus friends in or out of the headset. And we're adding events, so you can organize a tournament to play Racket NX with your friends. And we're adding the ability to post to Facebook from VR, so you can share your favorite moments with your VR communities and groups. Over time, we plan to power more and more of our social infrastructure with Facebook to realize our vision of a socially connected VR ecosystem. For the people who choose to log in with Facebook, we'll continue to add new ways to find and meet people, so it's as easy to connect with others as it is in the physical world. And for developers, this new connection with Facebook supercharges discovery of your app or game by creating more surfaces where people can engage. With all of these new places to connect, we want to work with you to give people even more ways to discover your app. So today, I'm excited to announce destinations and rich presence for developers. Destinations let you define deep links into places in your app that can be surfaced across the Oculus platform. And once you've defined your destinations, rich presence lets people share when they are in those places, so their friends can easily join them. Starting next month, people will be able to see their friends' rich presence locations across the Oculus headset and in the Oculus mobile app. And of course, there is a privacy setting so people can control what they share. Over the coming months, we'll add the abilities for developers to broadcast destinations across more places in the platform, and places where people can share their rich presence locations on even more surfaces, including Messenger and Facebook. And with these deep links, people can remote launch a specific VR destination from their laptop or mobile phone. It's like a portal that takes friends directly to each other. All of this improves discovery of your app through social word of mouth. But now, let's talk about the destinations we're building and how we will empower people, communities, and creators within those places. One thing we know people love to do in VR is watch media. Just look at Oculus Go. It's become a top product for immersive entertainment. But we know our media is not always easy to find. And when you find what you want to watch in VR, it's not always obvious how to invite friends to co-watch with you. This all needs to be simpler. So later this year, we're making some major updates to Oculus TV on Oculus Quest and Go. The updated Oculus TV will be the go-to hub for all media on the platform. So there will be one place to discover content of all kinds, from your favorite media apps like Fandango Now to Prime Video VR, as well as immersive experiences like the Emmy-nominated Traveling While Black and 360 videos from top creators. And of course, it will be easier than ever to hang out with friends, kick back, and watch things together. But Oculus TV isn't just for the people who watch media. It's also for the people who make it. It's a platform where people can discover the immersive content you've created. So to make this even easier, today we're introducing Media Studio, a VR media management tool where you can upload and publish your immersive and VR native media content. Media Studio, yeah, it's a great way to get your immersive content on the platform. It's a place where you can manage your immersive asset library and get performance analytics about your content. We're already hearing that these tools change the game for our early partners. Like Baobab, their team was able to upload and preview their latest film, Crow the Legend, and distribute it both in and out of VR entirely using the tools in Media Studio. But beyond media, people want all kinds of social activities in VR, just like in the physical world. They want a place that enables endless exploration and empowers communities. That's why we're building Facebook Horizon. It's the start of an entirely new social VR world for Oculus Quest and Rift. With Horizon, we're learning from our experience building Facebook Spaces, Oculus Rooms, and venues. But our vision is bigger, a place where people can explore, play, create, and connect with others in a vast, thriving virtual world where anything is possible. Where you can drop in for a quick flying game of capture the flag with your college friends that live around the country, or try your hand at building a tropical island and invite others to come check it out, or organize a weekly painting session with folks who love art as much as you do. Horizon is launching with a closed beta early next year. Here's what you'll find there. A central, bustling public space where people can gather, meet, and explore great new experiences. Expressive and diverse avatars that let you represent the you choose to be in VR. And magical portals that teleport you and your friends to great new experiences in games. We'll start with a few games built by our team, like Wing Strikers, an aerial team sport. We can't wait to see how these inspire other people to contribute their ideas to this ever-expanding virtual world, because we don't want to build it alone. That's why we're adding world building and creator tools right into Horizon, now You modders, builders, creators, and artists can bring your VR visions to life and add new experiences to Horizon. Everything from making a custom t-shirt for your avatar to building complex multiplayer games designed from scratch. We want to give everyone the superpowers to express themselves and create without taking off the headset. We'll even have visual scripting tools so you can build interactions into the experiences you design. It's very exciting. And when it's this easy to be creative and express yourself and add new experiences, in Horizon, there is always something new to explore. And of course, since Horizon is designed for communities to thrive, we want it to be welcoming to everyone. We're focused on promoting safe and positive interactions with social tools like groups and events where you can find people who share your interests, in-product guides to help newcomers learn about the world, plus built-in reporting, blocking, and moderation tools so you are always in control of your experience. All of this is hard to get right, but it's worth the effort. And over time, Horizon will get even better, with even more to explore and do as communities grow and thrive. Because anyone can help us create this world. We want to build the next generation of virtual communities together with you. Horizon is launching with a closed beta early next year, but everyone here at OC6 will get an invite to join. You'll get an early look at new experiences, see what we're building, and have a chance to create some experiences of your own. This is the next step on the journey towards VR with people at the center and the worlds that they will build. We'll see you there. Now, let's look at how VR is changing the way we collaborate and train at work.
Every day at the corporate office, we make decisions that impact the team members at the hotel. So we really needed to make sure that our corporate team members understand the complexity of working in a hotel. Oculus for Business has really shifted the way we work. We can truly upskill team members faster and really focus on empathy building, which was a game changer for us.
The virtual factory tour became a use case that was a no-brainer. It was, this is what we really need to do. We can now take anybody and we can give them the factory experience from their desk.
It's real. I mean, it's a real representation of what the factory looks like.
Besides saving money on travel, it's the safety factor. This is that ultimate bridge to break those barriers down.
Oh man, that was awesome. Fantastic.
The way we see the potential of Quest is that much lower barrier of entry. The fact that I showed a car that I'd worked 9 hours on, that's something on a time scale that we'd never done before. I knew this was going to be a big deal.
This is the time now for virtual reality, to go at scale, to go large.
Quest opened the floodgates. It's just phenomenal.
Quest is like a superpower. It's completely wild.
This is the moment for VR. And Quest, I truly think, has made that happen.
It is completely wild, isn't it? I see this video and I get chills again and again. From the first day I started working here, all I could think of is how we could harness this technology for work. And not just my work, everybody's work. As a technologist, it was tempting to approach it with an ROI calculator. How much money is saved at the manufacturing plant, at the store, at the office? But looking at how companies use VR today, what I found is that the impact of VR goes beyond what can be easily measured. With VR, employees build empathy for each other and their customers. They strengthen the company's culture, and they become high-performing teams. For example, the teams at Eon Energy, they collaborate across distance. They're being more communicative and more productive. All the Walmart associates that with empathy training are more attuned to the needs of their shoppers. And the claim representatives at Farmers Insurance, they practice to refine their expertise. VR is improving outcomes. And a positive outcome is never more meaningful than when you're training to treat a patient. To tell us more, please welcome my friend, Sandra Humbles from the Johnson & Johnson Institute.
Have you ever wondered how surgeons learn to become surgeons? It may come as a surprise to you that the surgical training model hasn't really changed in 100 years. Typically, a surgical resident begins by observing more experienced surgeons, and then gradually they are given more and more autonomy until they can perform on their own. But the reality is, the training model is no longer sustainable, and as technology is accelerating, a surgeon has to learn more and more and more. So with a head for health, a heart for teaching, and a passion for our patients, the Johnson & Johnson Institute is ushering in a new era of modern surgical training. We've equipped our facilities all around the world with virtual reality training, so surgeons can learn, rehearse, and master skills on their own time and at their own pace, so they are better prepared to then operate on real patients. So from the start, we knew VR could help our surgeons learn new procedures faster than traditional teaching methods, like watching a video or reading textbooks. Now, we have the backup to show VR's effectiveness. The Imperial College London conducted a study about VR training modules on the anterior approach to hip surgery to illustrate how you could improve the training at the residency level. I am so proud to be able to present to you today the key findings. 83% of those trained in VR could then go into the lab setting with minimal guidance, whereas none of those traditionally trained truly VR is making a difference. Now look here, the higher up on this graph, the better the performance. Again, you'll see those trained in VR completely outperformed the non-trained surgeons in the study. This independent validation of our work is propelling us to now go even further. What we would have thought was nearly impossible just a short while ago is now within our reach, thanks to Oculus. With the portability of Quest and the support of our development partner, OSA, the Johnson & Johnson Institute will be scaling access to our VR training platform quicker than ever before. We want to make VR available to every surgeon in every hospital around the world, focused on training the procedures and ensuring our products are used safely in a way that's more time efficient, cost effective, and measurable. So from the surgeon to the nurse to the scrub technician, we will use VR to provide anytime, anywhere training. So together, we will deliver on our mission to support those on the front line of care and help improve patient outcomes around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. These are just some examples of the enterprise applications that you have pioneered. But it has been hard. The infrastructure to support you, to target this fast-growing market, didn't exist. As the value of VR becomes evident, companies move from wondering if it's worth it to considering the practical implications of adopting it. As one customer recently said, if it doesn't scale, it doesn't matter. So here's where we come in. On the hardware side, with Oculus Go and Oculus Quest, we now have the ideal form factor. It is portable and easy to use in any environment, including businesses. But we also need to meet the demanding requirements of enterprise workflows. Earlier this year, we announced the new Oculus for Business platform. It offers tools to deploy and manage large-scale VR programs. You told us that the solution needed to be scalable, professional, and reliable. So that's what we have built. To start, companies need to deal with a large number of headsets, hundreds, thousands of them. Our device setup app allows you to provision many devices at the same time, fast and easy. From there, the device manager is the control center where you can remotely manage all the headsets and applications. You can also monitor and change settings and control software updates. For many people, work will be the first place where they experience VR, and we want to make it as easy and productive as possible. Very soon, as you have heard, we will have hand tracking, a very intuitive way for people to navigate in VR. No need to teach people how to use controllers. We have also designed a new look and feel in the headset. You will get a sleek new app launcher with a simplified menu where only the applications that are approved by the company will be visible. And the headsets can also launch directly into a predefined application. Now, these user and admin features are only part of the solution. Your customers need to know that the data is secure, the interactions are private, and the service is dependable. Facebook has already made headway in the enterprise with Workplace, our collaboration solution. With more than 2 million paid business users, they serve some of the strictest industries like healthcare and banking. The data belongs to the companies and is handled with enterprise-grade security standards. We are building on the same infrastructure with the same principles. Companies also need peace of mind when their business is on the line. So we are providing enterprise-grade customer support. It includes a new help center with a dedicated team to keep operations running. We know that there is a lot more that we can do, so we are not stopping here. We have a full roadmap coming, including an ISV partner program, because we want you to get from opportunity to pilot to deployment faster. We want you to scale your own business. Oculus for Business is in a closed beta now, and we are launching this November. Oculus for Business is the first step towards a VR-powered future of work, a future beyond the limits of a 15-inch laptop screen, where new collaboration tools will make us more productive. And your coworker thousands of miles away will feel as though they are right there next to you. A future where our physical realities will no longer limit our potential. And now, to bring us back to a fun and exciting present, let's welcome Jason Rubin.
Almost every Connect, I've been up on stage talking about VR's coming moment. That moment where it goes from R&D to fully baked, from promise to reality. Well, I'm never going to step up on this stage and talk about VR in the future again, because VR is happening now. About 4 months ago, we launched Rift S and Quest, and the response has been incredible. Again, consumers are buying them as fast as we can make them. They're returning to VR week after week, and they're buying and experiencing and loving a lot of content. In fact, as Mark said earlier, consumers have spent over $100 million in the Oculus store to date. $100 million. And Quest is accelerating that. We're seeing the first hockey stick bend in VR's adoption curve. So now, if a consumer asks us, is this the time? Should I buy into VR? The answer, without hesitation, is yes. We have an incredible amount of great experiences for you, and we're building more every day. You have questions about our hardware? Read our reviews. And if a developer asks, is this the time where I should be developing for VR? The answer is also absolutely yes. We're building the user base you want. We have the ecosystem you need. We have an incredible form factor. We're going to keep pushing the technical limits, and together, the developers in this room and Facebook are building the content of the future. We're doing this together. Now, this is usually the time in Connect where I would pivot, and I would start talking about the incredible games and experiences that the developer community is going to bring to our platform this year. I love doing that. But, as many of you know, Oculus has a new head of content, and I have a new role. So this year, I have a very short time on stage. He gets to come out here and have all that fun with you. Please welcome Mike Verdu.
Thanks, Jason. So yes, VR is now, and the future has arrived, but it is just not very evenly distributed. One of my favorite quotes from William Gibson has never been so true for virtual reality. How many of you remember that? It's a Rift DK1. The future arrived for many of you when you first put that on, and VR, it's been coming to life around us ever since. And for a while, back then, it seemed like the future would break over the world like a wave, and it would carry us with it into the promised land. But that's not how it happened. It's taken years. The future came from people one at a time. Fast forward to 2019. There are millions of people entering VR regularly, and we've seen the first VR-only platinum hit, selling more than 1 million units. I mean, that's awesome. VR titles are now racking up sales numbers that are respectable in any other medium. At last, the future has arrived at enough scale that we can actually make a living there. And that's why we can finally say, VR is now. This is not happening by magic. The future is arriving because of your creativity, your passion, and your hard work. I've been around the gaming industry long enough to see the birth of multiple platforms, and what made these platforms succeed? Developers and creators like you. So look around at your fellow pioneers who have carried the faith. You've been waiting for the world to catch up with you, and it finally has. You are not early anymore. You're in the right place at the right time. And from all of us here, your partners, we wanted to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with it. Now let's talk about and it's paying off for Beat Games, who made that first platinum hit. Their Quest launch has been phenomenal. Their success is letting them land deals with the likes of Imagine Dragons, and they're on track to deliver more original music and major labels alike. Please join me in celebrating their success by giving a warm welcome to Vladimir Rinchar and Jan Ilowski from Beat Games.
Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Beat Saber community, who made this all possible. We are so grateful. We initially made Beat Saber just in 3 guys, Jaroslav Beck, me, and Vladimir.
To our surprise, it became quickly a viral hit, played by more than 1 million players all around the world. It shows that a successful VR game can be created even with no budget and no big teams. Virtual reality has so much unexplored potential. It can be a simple and engaging concept, which is inclusive and enables players to feel like superheroes.
This May, we are proud to be one of the launch titles for Quest, and a month later, we showcased Beat Saber with 360-degree levels. And we actually think that this new mode might be the best way how to play the game, and it will be available for everyone this December. Yeah. I know that's a bit far from now, but we actually have something great you will enjoy much sooner.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Yeah, that's right. We are announcing the new music pack. It's Panic at the Disco, and it will be out next week. We can't wait for you to try it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vlad and Jan have brought so much delight to so many players, as are other developers who are finding success in a variety of ways. They create, they refine, they build a loyal fan base, and they deliver value with every update. Just look at BitPlanet Games. They've built a franchise in VR. They shipped Ultra Wings across a variety of VR devices over the last few years, added content through updates, and they built a community. Or Vertical Robot. They cut their teeth on the Unreal Engine for Oculus Go. That experience paid off in Red Matter. It's one of the best looking games on Quest. In just 1 week on Quest, they managed to double their lifetime revenue from Rift. And then there's Stress Level 0. They've been shipping VR games since the early days, each title bolder than the last. Their upcoming game, Boneworks, is an impressive display of physics and the use of touch. And we're pleased to announce that a new title in the Boneworks universe is coming to Quest next year. We think gamers on Quest have a ton to look forward to this year and next, thanks to the ingenuity of the people in this room. Here's just a peek at some recent and upcoming titles.
Yeah. Come on, come on. Let the games begin. I'm married to it. To me, it's my everything. But for now, remain calm. It's what I do best. To my first true love, I confess. It's for the love of the game. It's for the love of the game. We all live. Let the games begin.
There are more than 100 games and other products slated for Quest by the end of the year, and even more coming in 2020. And speaking of things to look forward to, one of the definitive experiences on Quest has been ILM X Lab's Vader Immortal. Now, you've all had that moment in Vader Immortal where you come face to face with the Sith Lord himself for the first time, and you look up and you feel like he's actually there with you. Presence isn't just about the feeling that you're in another place. Lord Vader reminds us it's about feeling the presence of others, even virtual characters. We've been delighted with the reception for Vader Immortal. These are press and reviewer quotes, but our users love the experience as well. Our most upvoted user review says, "I still can't wipe this stupid grin off my face. I can't wait for episode 2." And the team at ILM X Lab has been hard at work on the next chapter. And to tell you more, I'd like to introduce Jose Perez III and Alyssa Finley.
We're excited to be here on behalf of ILM X Lab, Lucasfilm's immersive entertainment studio, to talk about Vader Immortal Episode 2.
Yeah. The latest episode of this groundbreaking VR series picks up right where the previous one left off, with Darth Vader teaching you the Force. One of virtual reality's greatest strengths is the power of presence. The ability to be transported into different worlds and to connect firsthand with characters you've previously only seen on the screen. To make the transition from storytelling to story living. At its core, Vader Immortal explores one central question. What would it be like for you to be the hero of a Star Wars adventure, and for you to find out firsthand Darth Vader's mysterious plans?
Episode 1 transported you to Mustafar, and it told a new story about an unexplored period in Darth Vader's life. As that story unfolded, you discovered your own lineage, how that tied into Vader's plans. Plus, you trained with a lightsaber in both the episode and the action-packed lightsaber dojo.
In Episode 2, you'll get to explore beneath Vader's castle. You'll get to use the Force, and there will be some incredible plot twists along the way. For a project this ambitious, we knew it would be important to collaborate with the right creative partners. The series brings together Maya Rudolph, to voices Zoe 3, and award-winning writer David S. Goyer, in addition to our incredible team of digital artists, producers, engineers, and designers.
In developing Vader Immortal Episode 2, we wanted to build upon the foundation set in our first installment from both a story and an interactive perspective. In this episode, you're going to discover more about your connection to Mustafar and the mysterious Black Bishop as you traverse the ancient Corvaxian fortress. New creatures, like the Dark Guest, lie in wait below the planet's surface. She's gigantic, she's mad, and she's hungry.
You'll gain a powerful weapon, the Proto-Saber. The unique hilt you see was designed by our teams at Lucasfilm and is an ancient relic that plays a central role in the story.
In addition to the narrative experience, we also created Lightsaber Dojo 2, This new dojo allows you to hone your skills with a lightsaber and unleash the power of the Force on your opponents. We're super excited about the new mechanics in the latest dojo. Using only a single button, you will use the Force to stun, pick up, and fling your opponents across the arena. You can even attack enemies from a distance by straight up throwing your lightsaber at them, which is super awesome.
There's genuinely nothing like using the Force in virtual reality. Now, when we were here last year, we showed you the first trailer for Episode 1. Today, we are delighted to debut the launch trailer for Vader Immortal Episode 2. Let's check it out.
The Force is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Follow me, and I will instruct you in its ways. You will need the Force if you are to survive the path ahead. Your anger makes you stronger.
Incredible, Captain. How are you doing that?
You can unlock the secrets of life and death. Defend yourself. Impressive.
Catch me up. I don't understand why you never mentioned that you had the Force.
Don't move.
That's right. Vader Immortal Episode 2 is available right now on the Oculus Store for Quest and Rift. So, Quest has had a terrific few months, but PC is still the place for the highest fidelity VR games. The launch of Rift S earlier this year continues that legacy. Rift S combines convenience with the raw power of PC. We launched Rift S to bring more people into VR, and we're excited to see that it's actually working. More than 60% of people activating Rift S are completely new to Oculus. The state of the art for high-fidelity gaming continues to evolve. With the unrivaled power of PC and the Rift platform, gamers can look forward to two of the biggest VR games yet: Asgard's Wrath and Stormland. These are incredible titles that show that VR is now home to gorgeous, full-length games that have all the richness and depth that you'd expect from blockbusters on any other platform. For RPG fans wanting a VR fantasy game to sink their teeth into, Asgard's Wrath offers more than 40 hours of gameplay, and even more if you're a completionist. And Stormland, it offers near endless replayability thanks to its co-op gameplay mechanics and its ever-changing world. We're pleased to announce that Asgard's Wrath and Stormland are launching this fall, and they are available for pre-order right now. And everyone here, you're getting these games for free. And if you can't wait until launch to play them, they're on the show floor. Wanted to end on something special. Yeah. sometimes an opportunity to work on a remarkable project comes along. And 2 years ago, we announced a partnership between Oculus Studios and Respawn, creators of the hit games Titanfall, Apex Legends, and the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The team at Respawn has been hard at work, leaning into the creative potential of VR to make an amazing game, one that simultaneously leaps into the future, but also takes Respawn back to its roots. Today, they're ready to reveal what it is. Not only does it push the action genre in VR forward, but it is a humbling example of what VR can do for games, for players, and the way we look back on history itself. Take a look.
With Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, I think we're finally able to fully realize that vision from 20 years ago of putting you in the boots, allow you to see through the eyes of someone who is actually there. And that's been the most exciting and fulfilling part of the project.
There's no moment in this game where like you're just relaxed, right? You're in a war zone.
You are a member of the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services. That allows us to tell a story where the player gets to go to all these incredible places.
VR adds such another level to it just because people want to naturally interact with things how they do in the real world.
Whether you're inside a Sherman tank or at an airfield or sneaking into a Nazi subbase, the level of immersion is unprecedented.
Through the power of VR, you're climbing a wall, you're pulling out your gun, you're catching a grenade in midair and throwing it back. Those are all things that you end up doing yourself.
It's exciting and it's terrifying and it's fun and it's cool kind of helping create these experiences for people.
We are making a game about the reality of World War II. So for us, the authenticity was everything.
When you put that headset on, you feel like you're back in World War II era Europe.
It's a very surreal experience to be there without being there.
You're not watching history on a flat screen. You're experiencing history with your own eyes.
We have the opportunity to sit down and interview combat veterans from World War II.
It's very emotional and it's very inspiring. And that's what draws us to dive deep for our characters.
And putting you as the player on an adventure that spans some of the biggest moments of the war.
Medal of Honor franchise immediately gives us something more intimate, more cinematic.
Games are at their best when they're immersive, and we're finding all sorts of little things that you can't do in traditional games.
Having the backing of Respawn and Oculus gives us the ability to push those boundaries in ways that it hasn't been pushed before.
When you see someone play it, when they just kind of lose themselves into the game, it's been pretty impressive.
If the game we're making ignites people's imaginations and illuminates the world, then we've accomplished what we set out to do.
Okay, this is going to be fun. Today's VR is super cool, no question about it. But now I'd like to talk about the future, especially since this has been a magical week for me in that respect, thanks to two wonderful additions to my world. The first is the Control Labs team, who will be joining Facebook Reality Labs to help build the interface of the future. Their EMG technology has exciting potential for delivering natural and intuitive interaction for VR and AR, and I'm delighted to welcome them to FRL. The other is the birth of my first grandson, which has made the future much more tangible to me. Thank you. It was actually way more moving than I expected. Sitting there with him in my lap on that first night with everyone else asleep, I found myself looking at his beautiful, tiny face and wondering what the amazing, unimaginable future he'd live in would be like. And of course, the one thing I was sure of was that VR and AR would be a transformative part of whatever was to come. That transformative VR future is what I'm going to talk about today, but the past and the present are the keys to the future. So let's start by traveling back to the early 1980s when I was a grad student in energy management and policy at Penn. As you can see, I hadn't yet discovered blue button-down shirts, or, for that matter, personal grooming. What I had discovered was the personal computer in the form of the Vector Graphics VIP. The Vector sported a 4 megahertz processor and a full 56K of memory, which was hot stuff in those days, and I instantly fell in love with the freedom of having an entire computer to myself. Back then, the world we live in was just being born. The IBM PC didn't yet exist. VisiCal could ship for the Apple II the year before, so the first killer app was starting to make progress with early business adopters, but there were only about 2 million personal computers in the world, and most of them were owned by hobbyists, gamers, and enthusiasts. In short, back then, personal computers were more of a novelty than a real thing. But the more I used the Vector, the more I began to believe. So when the IBM PC came out, I walked away from my PhD program to write video games like this. I appreciate that because you have no idea how hard it is to make that happen with a few thousand instructions per frame. Writing those games was about the most fun I ever had, although my new direction caused considerable concern among family members who thought I was throwing away my career. That was an entirely reasonable opinion, because in 1982, personal computers hadn't really started to change the world yet. But they would. And because I had had the faith to be there at the beginning, before everything went big, I've had the opportunity to contribute in many ways, from games to operating systems to graphics and more. Never for a moment have I, or anyone else I know from those days, regretted the decision to dive in while it was still early days and help make the future happen. Unless you lived through it, though, it's hard to comprehend just how much things changed as the personal computer revolution proceeded. Here's what human-oriented computing looked like when I wrote Cosmic Crusader. Then, here's what it looked like while John and I were working on Quake 15 years later. And finally, here's what human-oriented computing looks like on my work phone now. That is how much a truly revolutionary platform can change things over the years. Okay, back to the present. Let's map today's VR onto that same long-term trend line. VR certainly has as much long-term potential as the personal computer. In fact, I believe it will ultimately become the most powerful, creative, and collaborative environment that has ever existed, as I'll discuss later. But realizing the full potential of VR will take decades, just as it did with the personal computer. Right now, I'd say VR is clearly farther along than the personal computer was when I wrote Cosmic Crusader, what with Quest and Rift S, a broad and varied app portfolio that includes 1 million seller, and rapidly emerging enterprise applications, all growing nicely. VR is in a good place right now, and it's easy for us true believers to see where the trend line is headed in the long run. But realistically, we're still pretty close to the beginning of what's going to be one of the great technological revolutions of all time, which is actually awesome. It means that right now we're in the most exciting place. Most of the good stuff is yet to come, and it's our community that's going to make that happen. But it also means that VR is advancing on 2 different timescales. In the near term, the next 5 years or so, VR needs to grow as rapidly as possible. And that's happening in a big way between us getting great headsets out there and a strong ecosystem built, and all of you creating the applications that will take VR into the mainstream. As Jason Rubin said, VR is happening now. At the same time, there's another future after this one, the next big step up that long-term trend line, a quantum leap to a whole different level that will be built on the work all of us are doing today. And when that future arrives, VR will explode the way the personal computer did nearly 40 years ago. VR hasn't changed the world yet, but it will. Of course, I'm preaching to the choir. You're working on VR precisely because you believe it will change the world. The interesting question is, when? Well, I have some good news and some bad news. I'll start with the bad news. I've made specific predictions about the timing of that quantum leap twice before at Oculus Connect, and both times I was too optimistic. This year, rather than making yet another prediction, I'm going to invoke Hofstadter's law. It always takes longer than you expect, even when you take into account Hofstadter's law. The honest truth is, I don't know when you're going to be able to buy the magical headset I described last year. VR will continue to evolve nicely, but my full vision for next generation VR is going to take longer. How much longer? I don't know. Let's just say not anytime soon. Turning breakthrough technology into products is just hard. So that's the bad news. But then there's the good news. That quantum leap into the future is still coming, and we at FRL are making it happen as fast as we can. So what exactly will that future look like? If we're talking about the long-term future, that's easy. VR/AR is, in my opinion, going to be the most significant technology of the next 50 years, just as personal and mobile computing have come to dominate our lives over the 46 years since the first personal computer, the Alto, was built at the Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. Xerox PARC started a revolution that ultimately led to every one of us either interacting with or being just seconds away from the virtual world almost every waking minute. That virtual world has touched nearly every corner of our lives, but there's one great limitation. We interact with it almost exclusively through two-dimensional interfaces, along with very limited audio. If you think of a human as a CPU with memory, input, and output, admittedly, not the most romantic framing, but accurate, then it becomes clear that the data received on the inputs, our senses, and the actions induced by the outputs, our motor controls, must define the full range of experiences that we can have in the world. Given that, our lives are enhanced if we can bring more useful information to our senses and perform actions that have more useful effects, resulting in better, more satisfying experiences, which is precisely why virtually every one of you has a smartphone with you right now. But relative to what you're capable of, that smartphone is a very low bandwidth channel. In contrast, VR and AR have the potential to give us all the bandwidth we can handle in the ways we're built to use it, and that will let us do more of what makes us human, especially socially. That's the fundamental reason why I believe VR/AR will be the dominant technology of our lifetime across the full sweep of our digital lives, games, of course, but also so much more, as I'll touch on later. So to me, it's easy to predict that awesome long-term future. Predicting the next generation of VR is harder. I'm happy to share my thoughts with you, but there are all sorts of opinions about what the future of VR will be, and opinions are a dime a dozen. The most useful way to learn something meaningful about what's coming is to live by Alan Kay's great quote. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. That's what we're doing at FRL, and I view these talks at Oculus Connect as our yearly postcards from the future of VR. Today's postcard will share some of the recent progress we've made on inventing the future in optics, machine perception, and avatars. What I'm about to share is actual working prototype technology, not mocked-up demos or concept art. Let's start by following up on varifocal and the Half Dome prototype, last seen at F8 more than a year ago. The headset we shared at F8 was the result of several years of research and prototyping of advanced display systems. Half Dome was our first prototype to achieve two milestones. First, using Fresnel lenses, it supported a 140-degree field of view. Second, by physically moving the screens based on eye tracking, it changed the focal depth and kept the image sharp even when inspecting close objects. Today, I'm pleased to be able to share a new varifocal concept prototype, Half Dome 2, built by our display systems research team working closely with several other teams across FRL. Unlike the original Half Dome 2 is targeted primarily at ergonomics and comfort, both visual and physical. The new prototype is substantially smaller and lighter than Half Dome, largely because our optics team has managed to fold the optical path into a very small volume. Overall, we've been able to improve form factor substantially and reduce weight by a full 200 grams over Half Dome. The trade-off for that increased comfort is that the field of view is narrower than Half Dome, although still 20% wider than Quest. The varifocal hardware has also been considerably improved, so let's take a quick look at that. Varifocal now relies on voice coil actuators and flexure hinge arrays, eliminating any points of sliding or rolling contact between the moving screen and the pod assembly. This improves on the original Half Dome by reducing noise and vibration to imperceptible levels. All in all, Half Dome 2 continues the trajectory of Half Dome toward more immersive and comfortable VR displays. But there's more. As I said earlier, we're inventing as fast as we can, so I'm delighted to be able to share our first electronic varifocal system, Half Dome 3. We've replaced all moving parts in Half Dome 2 with a thin stack of liquid crystal lenses. Let's take a look at a prototype module to understand how electronic varifocal works. The next few images will be recorded through the electronic varifocal module you see here. This is a real camera shot. Each liquid crystal lens can be turned on and off to alternate between two focal states. Here we indicate that a lens is on by highlighting it in orange. When the lens is turned off, the focus shifts to the far object. And then, when the lens turns back on, it shifts to the near object again. As you can see, a single liquid crystal lens makes a great pair of digital bifocals, shifting focus between two depths. To achieve smooth varifocal, we address the full stack of liquid crystal lenses, with each additional pair doubling the number of focal planes. In this example, 6 liquid crystal lenses are driven to sweep through 64 focal planes, and you can see the focal depth smoothly changing at the right as we cycle through different sets of lens states. In addition to having no moving parts, this approach allows significantly better form factor compared to its predecessors. Here, we compare our new electronic module to the original Half Dome assembly and see that there's a considerable reduction in size. When we integrate the electronic module into a complete prototype headset, it defines a new state-of-the-art for VR ergonomics. This is still very much research today, but here's a view through an early Half Dome 3 prototype. As you can see, without varifocal, the cassette gets blurry up close. But the electronic approach is able to replicate the smooth varifocal experience of mechanical systems at all depths, a promising sign for the future. If you'd like to know more about our varifocal work, we'll be putting up a deep dive blog post today. As important as visual quality is, a great display is just one key component of a compelling VR system. Computer vision, a part of what we call machine perception, is another essential element of the VR experience. For starters, the ability to localize the headset in the real world with great reliability and accuracy so that virtual objects are rock solid is what makes the virtual world seem real. That's not all, though. The ability to detect and reconstruct the real world and import parts of it as desired enables mixed reality. That is, mixing and matching of real and virtual in VR, so that you could, for example, bring a real keyboard, mouse, and desk into your virtual workspace and use them as easily as you would in the real world. Reconstruction also enables social teleportation, which lets you share your surroundings with another person or jump into someone else's part of the world, as we saw in Boz's talk. And of course, it's the foundation of live maps. Let's look at some of the recent progress from our Surreal team on reconstruction. Real thing with no smoke and mirrors. This is a fly-through of reconstructions of real spaces generated by state-of-the-art reconstruction technology. I think this is absolutely amazing. If you can imagine stepping into one of those and just being in it, this phenomenal level of reconstruction will enable extraordinarily high-quality mixed reality experiences. Once you have a reconstruction, you can do whatever you want with it. Here are some pretty cool lighting effects in the reconstruction of Boz's dad's den. Rock-solid mixed reality is a key part of the future of VR, but there's still something missing, and that's people. We need to add truly convincing avatars to make VR ubiquitous because, as Yasser Sheikh from our Pittsburgh lab puts it, proximity determines social relationships, and social relationships make the world go round. Being together in person will always be the most satisfyingly human way to interact, but the technology we're developing has the potential to be the next best thing. Let's take a look at where we are with some of that. I'll start by picking up where we left off last year, with a codec avatar head shown next to actual video of Stephen speaking.
A good morrow to you, my boy. It's healthier to cook without sugar. Thank you, she said, dusting herself off.
That's amazingly realistic, but the level of expressiveness is pretty low, and expressiveness is perhaps the most critical part of social interaction. One of the important advances over the last year has been capturing more of that, as you can see in this next video. Here, Kevin's facial animation is being driven in real time entirely by cameras mounted in the headset. Of course, facial expressions only matter if you're interacting with someone. As you watch the next video, you can see Yasser and Danny wearing headsets in the real-world video in the corners. The faces in the center are avatars. And again, they're animated in real time entirely from cameras in the headset.
Well, what can your face do? Can you show us?
Well, I've always hoped you would ask me that question. So I have some pretty good, I think, mouth movement.
How about your eyes? Can you look left, right, up, down? Good.
Yeah, I can do surprise. Ah. Ooh. I think one of my favorites is puffing my cheeks.
The mouthwash commercial.
And rolling my tongue.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty hard to believe that those aren't videos, huh? Although, to be fair, right now, it doesn't always work that well. Anyway, it certainly doesn't take a huge leap to imagine how doing that in VR could be far more satisfying and personal than seeing someone's image on a flat screen. Social teleportation will need more than just heads, though, so I'd like to share an initial step toward codec avatar bodies with you.
A codec avatar is a digital representation of a person. And so we build these to look like us, move like us, sound like us, and the purpose of it is to be able to connect people across distances.
Again, this is just the first step. What you saw was generated offline, not in real time, although it will become real time in the not too distant future, but it's promising. All this is still research with a lot left to do, but codec avatars have certainly come a long way. I think the three research areas we just looked at are pretty cool, but where this really gets exciting is when the pieces start coming together. If you put codec avatars together with reconstruction, you start to get true social teleportation, where anyone can be with anyone else, wherever they want, working with a mix of real and virtual. Let's take a very early peek at what that would be like. To set the stage, this is the stage in which codec avatar data is captured initially. This is where we put people in, we capture the information, and now we've done a reconstruction of that space so that now we can put a codec avatar in it.
We wish to spend time with and not be restricted only to those people who live close by. That's the promise of it. And this is research work that we've done right here in FRL Pittsburgh. I hope you enjoy the demo that you've seen, and we all look forward to what the future brings. Thank you.
Again, there's a long way to go, but this is a genuine glimpse of the future. It's going to take all the innovative technology we just saw and a lot more to make the leap to the next generation of VR. But there's more to it than that. There's an important lesson that we can learn from Xerox PARC here. The PARC researchers invented a wide range of revolutionary technologies, from the laser printer to the bitmap windowing interface to WYSIWYG word processing to object-oriented programming. If that was all they had done, they would have been wildly successful. But they also integrated all of that into the Alto, and that is what changed the world. Similarly, new VR technologies will need to be woven together into a complete, tightly integrated platform in order to make that quantum leap. It's the sum of the parts that will deliver that breakthrough experience, not technologies in isolation, as we started to see when we put the codec avatar in a reconstructed environment. Which brings us to the question of exactly what that integrated next-generation platform will be. Rather than starting with technology, I'm going to approach that question from the perspective of what overall user experience we'd want the platform to deliver. And here, I'm going to return to a theme I've talked about before, my desire for a virtual collaborative workspace. For 5 years now, I've been wishing for a VR workspace that I could configure any way I wanted, with monitor-quality virtual screens, holograms, whiteboards, and whatever, saving and switching between configurations with a click. Throw in the ability to interact with my real surroundings and use a keyboard and mouse, and that would be a great work environment. And then, if I could share virtual spaces with other people, it would become an amazingly productive collaborative environment as well. And while I'm at it, it'd be great to have the ability to manipulate both real and virtual objects with my hands, complete with haptic feedback. I would use that in a heartbeat, and I believe that it would spread like wildfire, the way personal computers did back in the day. Even better, the hardware-software stacks and the overall platform needed to enable the full range of uses for that virtual collaborative workspace are so broad and general that they'd enable a vast space of applications and a flood of creativity across gaming, entertainment, communication, education, and productivity. Again, just like personal computers did. I am highly confident that a great virtual collaborative workspace would open the door to the entire next generation of VR, which in turn would unlock human potential on a massive scale. What would it take to make that collaborative workspace a reality? Well, without question, we'd need enough resolution and good enough image quality so that virtual monitors were at parity with real monitors. That would require very high-res displays and much improved optics. I personally think visual acuity needs to be 20/20 or better, but that's just the start. We'd also need the ability to render at that high resolution and to either do that with a mobile GPU or transmit the data over a wireless link. And that very likely means we would need foveated rendering, which may mean we need a new graphics pipeline and would certainly mean we need great eye tracking. Next, we would need excellent real-time mixed reality so that we could be aware of the world around us and move about and interact with our desk, chair, keyboard, mouse, and other surroundings. We would also want to have persistent, shareable virtual objects in the world so that we could, for example, set up a customized team workroom or work on tech art or some code with a teammate. To do that, we would need a localized version of the live maps technology that Boz talked about. That is, a private live map of our local physical surroundings. We would also need to be able to see our hands and our body in order to truly be present in the virtual world. And we'd want to do more than just look at our hands. We'd want to use them as the intuitive, highly dexterous manipulators that they are in the real world. So we'd want both haptic gloves and hands so accurate that we can interact with both the real and virtual worlds flawlessly in mixed reality. And if we're going to be doing work with our hands, we'd want clear and comfortable vision within arm's length for hours of use per day, exactly what varifocal is designed to deliver. We'd also want proper spatialization and propagation of virtual sounds, so virtual objects and spaces would sound as real as they look. For collaborative work, we'd obviously want the compelling avatars we discussed earlier, and we'd need accurate real-time face, hand, eye, and body motion, as well as highly realistic appearance. Less obviously, we'd need a wider field of view so that everyone in a meeting could see everyone else. That's essential for social interaction, as are voices that sound like they're coming from the right people in the right places. We'd want to be able to share our real environments with each other, both for social purposes and because physical objects will often be important to the discussion. And we'd want to wrap all this up with great ergonomics to make it comfortable to be in VR for hours at a time. And that would require making everything I've discussed compact and power efficient. And then we'd finally have the complete platform that my dream workspace could be built on. Which I think we can all agree would be pretty awesome. But how do we get from here to there? Well, FRL has been pushing the envelope for the last 5 years on everything I just talked about. We've been focused on bootstrapping individual areas, like the hand tracking Mark talked about, which originated as FRL research, because that's what it took to get to next generation technology. Now that we've built many of the pieces, though, it's time to start putting the full platform together. To paraphrase Alan Kay, the best way to predict the next generation of VR is to build it. And FRL's mission is to build time machines that let us peer as far as possible into the future. So just as Xerox PARC built the Alto and showed the way to the future of the personal computer, FRL is going to build a true next-generation concept prototype with the objective of showing the way to the long-term future of VR. This prototype is going to be aimed squarely at collaborative virtual workspaces with the objective of enabling fully remote work that has all the benefits of working in an office, in addition to the pluses of both virtual and remote work. One reason we're making remote work the North Star is because it's a great way to connect people in VR, and connecting people is what Facebook is all about. Another reason is that making remote work really effective would have a hugely positive effect on how we live. Imagine what it would mean if you could work remotely as effectively as in person, or someday, maybe even more effectively, because you could have collaboration tools in the virtual world that could never exist in the real world. People wouldn't need to live near where they work. They could live near family, or where housing is affordable, or just wherever appeals to them. Commutes would vanish, and there would be dramatically fewer business trips with huge energy and environmental benefits. Companies would be able to tap into talent around the world, and the ability of talented people to find meaningful, high-paying work would no longer be determined by where they happen to have been born. That is truly a future that defies distance, and that by itself would be more than enough motivation. But there's yet another reason for building this prototype, and that's that a collaborative virtual workspace is something we in FRL would actually use. And when you're inventing something new, it's critical to know the customer well and have a rapid feedback cycle with them, and how better to do that than building something for yourself. So the key metric for our prototype will be whether we find we choose to use it for hours a day to do real work. If we find it that useful, so too will millions of other information workers, most likely including you. The long-term potential of next-generation VR is tremendously exciting, but I want to be really clear that this is still high-risk research. At best, it will take years to get to a prototype that proves out the concept. And Hofstadter was right. It always takes longer than you think, and that's especially true for turning research into something usable. So there's exciting potential for that quantum leap down the road, but for the foreseeable future, VR will be all about the Quest generation. Again, VR is happening now. Anyway, however long it takes to build that compelling next-generation prototype, we will keep at it until we get there. Now again, this will be a prototype, not a product. You won't be able to buy it. It won't be sleek or affordable or highly manufacturable or as durable as a consumer product needs to be. It will surely come up short of my wish list in some respects. That's okay. It just needs to be good enough to show the way to the next generation of VR. The Alto was limited, slow, and expensive, and it never became a product. But it showed that the personal computer could empower people to do new, highly compelling things, and that was enough to point the way to the Mac and Windows and everything that followed. So the virtual collaborative workspace is just a starting point, a catalyst. Like the personal computer, the next generation of VR will be a broad, general platform that enables a vast range of uses. Some of these will be improved versions of familiar things, but many of them haven't even been imagined yet. Whatever those applications are, I'm confident that the next generation platform will make VR a part of daily life for tens and then hundreds of millions of people, and will begin to change the way we work, the way we connect, the way we live. So VR is going to shape the world my grandson will live in, but it's going to be a decades-long journey to that promised land, and it will take all of us to get there. The next leg of that journey will be built on the work all of you true believers are doing, exploring the possibilities of VR and taking it into the mainstream, while we work to move the underlying platform forward. And whenever it is that that next generation platform does finally see the light of day, you will be the ones poised to use it to change the world. and your faith in these early days will be rewarded at a scale that's hard to imagine today. Cosmic Crusader was a labor of love. It only sold a few thousand copies, so I certainly didn't do it for the money. But it was the start of a path that 15 years later led to co-writing a game that tens of millions of people would play, and that would be the template for a whole genre that's still going strong more than 20 years later. You too will have that sort of experience one day with VR. In the meantime, we're all going to have the adventure of a lifetime. It'll take a little more time than I thought to get to the next generation of VR, but that just means that these are going to be the good old days for longer. And these truly are the good old days. It just doesn't get any better than being there at the start and getting to create the future, and we are all unbelievably lucky to have the opportunity to do exactly that. The future is waiting, just as surely as it was waiting for this kid 37 years ago. Let's go make it happen. Thank you.
Wow, this has been an amazing keynote. Let's get back to the screen. Hello, this is me again. And yeah, I'm still orange, obviously. So, wow, what do you think? Did you like this Oculus Connect 6 keynote? Please do let me know in the chat. And for all of you who had been watching that keynote, and who don't know me, my name is Sebastian Ang, and I'm running this channel called MRTV, and I'm bringing you all the latest news about VR and AR, and I'm bringing you reviews of hardware, and you should definitely subscribe to this channel if you have not done so yet. Wow, really, really amazing. I'm really, really amazed by this keynote, and I believe that you are as well. So, now, following this keynote, I'm going to summarize all the points that were made and where there were so many interesting things that have been said by Mark and by all the others who were on the stage today. So first of all, before I go into the summary of all the things that we learned, I would like to tell you that in my personal opinion, I believe that Oculus is not only leading the industry right now. After this keynote, I believe they are dominating it. It's unbelievable. They are really dominating it in so many ways right now. And I simply think this is truly outstanding. Truly, truly outstanding. So, my dear friends, let me summarize what we learned. So Mark Zuckerberg was on stage, and well, we heard that they are selling as many Quests as they can build. So definitely really, really exciting. They're selling lots of Quests, and well, they're selling them like hotcakes. $100 million of content has been sold on the Oculus platform, and 20% of these 100 million is already being done by the Oculus Quest. This is truly, truly outstanding, since the Oculus Quest is only there since a couple of months. Wow, really outstanding. Then, now, the big announcement, of course, was that soon there's going to be Oculus Link, and Oculus Link is going to make an Oculus Rift out of your Oculus Quest. This is truly outstanding. So, you simply use a USB cable, you plug it into your computer, into your gaming PC, and then you can play all of your Rift titles on the Oculus Quest. And I think this is definitely the standout piece of information of this Oculus Connect 6. All people who own a Quest right now, they also own a Rift, because now you can play all these amazing titles, and all of these amazing titles that are going to come up, like Stormland and Asgard's Wrath. So this is pretty amazing. And I'm not orange anymore. I'm not orange anymore. Wow, this is really cool. So yeah, Oculus Link, truly amazing. What does it mean for the industry? It means, well, lots of people are going to buy an Oculus Quest. Even more people are going to buy an Oculus Quest because, well, with this system, not only will they have like this VR experience that they can use not tethered to the PC wherever they go. Now, if they want that highly powered PC powered VR content, they can also enjoy it on the Oculus Quest. And this is truly a game changer, truly a game changer. And this is going to happen in November 2019. So very soon, we're simply going to plug our USB cable into our computer and we're going to have Rift content on our Quest. Wow, truly amazing. Truly amazing. What do you guys think about Oculus Link? And what does it mean for the Oculus Rift S? Do you think that Rift S is dead now? I would really love to know about your thoughts. And I already see it now in the comment section. Frankster is saying Rift S is dead. And Darren Lowe says getting a Quest now. Yeah, everyone and their mothers should get an Oculus Quest right now. It's an amazing system. I love this system. And really, it is so powerful. It's so magical, really magical. You know, I have all headsets. I have all available headsets that are on the market and some that are even not on the market. But I love Quest. I love Quest. Whenever I go to an event, I bring the Quest. I put it on people who have never experienced VR and I simply run the tutorial. The people come out of this experience, of this 5-minute tutorial experience, and they are blown away. So yes, do get a Quest. Now, not only can you play all these games that are made for the Quest, you can also play all of the Rift catalog, and I think that is truly a game changer. Of course, I'm going to review this. I'm going to see how good they made it happen, but I believe the Oculus engineers and Carmack, I'm sure they have done an amazing job, and I'm sure it's working flawless. So Oculus Link, without a doubt, is the huge news coming out of this Oculus Connect, and it has great repercussions on Quest sales. I believe more people will want it. I can see it in chat right now. And yeah, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. Let's go to the next piece of information. I have noted everything down. I didn't just watch it. I noted everything down for you. So yeah, Oculus Link coming in November, and then hand tracking. Hand tracking is coming. And you know what? I believed hand tracking was coming. I told you in the very beginning of this stream, but I did not believe that it would be coming to Quest, because I told you, hey, that Snapdragon 835, how can it do hand tracking? And well, boom, they totally blew my mind. Hand tracking is coming to the Oculus Quest as well. Or actually, they only talked about hand tracking for the Oculus Quest. They didn't even talk about the Rift S anymore. Everything was about the Quest at this moment in time. So hand tracking is going to come in early 2020. And what does this mean? Well, you don't need to teach somebody to use the controller, because for some beginners, it was still a bit complicated with the controller, right? When I can remember, I taught some people how to use the grip button to take things, and it took a while until they understood it. Well, guess what? Now we don't even need to teach them anymore about this. We can simply use our hands to manipulate digital or virtual buttons that are hovering somewhere in the virtual worlds, and it's going to make this system even more accessible. And developers can build this into their experiences, and this is coming early 2020. So this is going to come very soon. I mean, we are already at the end of 2019, and in early 2020, this is going to arrive on the Quest system, and people who are developing for the Quest can put this into their own experiences, and I believe there's going to be lots of exciting experiences where we even don't need to use the controllers anymore. And think of this. This is amazing also for adult entertainment. Yeah, let's be honest. Some of us are using this for adult entertainment. Think about the possibilities here. Oh my friggin' goodness. This is truly, truly amazing. So this is going to come in early 2020. What do you think about the hand tracking for the Oculus Quest? If you love this feature, please say yes in the chat now. Please do say yes in the chat now. If you think this is amazing, say no if you think, oh, that sucks. Yeah, right. So this is huge news. So now, yes, you say yes. It seems like you like it. Yeah, right. This is truly amazing. Then Mark Zuckerberg told us about his acquisition of Control Labs. And Control Labs, they're doing some neural inputs where you simply think about things and then you can control something in the virtual world. And he just talked about this for a couple of minutes. And well, this is some wristband that you're wearing, and they will be able to measure your neural networks. And well, this is something which is still years away. Mark said it. And anyways, this is something interesting that he said. Anyways, yeah, after Oculus Link and after the hand tracking, now the next big announcement was made by Mark Zuckerberg, and it was all about social experiences in VR. And oh my goodness, Oculus is doing their version of VR chat. Say hello to Facebook Horizon. Wow, and it looked so amazing. Simply think about VR chat, right? But made from Facebook, where Facebook already has these billions of connections, right? These billions of connections. We all have our friends that we know in real life on Facebook, right? And think about this. All these connections are going to be brought into Facebook Horizon, Oculus version of VR chat. And in this world, which actually looked really amazing, it simply looked like Oculus Spaces, something that they did before with all these nice avatars where you see the mouth is moving, and really, really well done. And now done in a VR chat kind of scale, where you can make your own experiences. So they were showing off how they built their own worlds, everything in VR. Like, it looked really beautiful, this kind of builder. And you can build your own games, you can script your own games, you can invite your friends over to your spaces, and all of this is growing and growing based on content that is made by us. And I believe that this is going to be a huge game changer for social VR, just from what I saw today, simply because Facebook has this network of billions of people connected with each other. So it's going to be so easy to make something happen and invite all my friends over. And I believe, wow, it's hard times for VR chat, hard times for AllSpace, and hard times for all of these apps. What do you think? Would you agree with me on this one? Do you think Facebook Horizon is going to be huge and you're going to build something and invite your friends? Please say yes. If you don't think that Facebook Horizon is going to be big because of privacy concerns, perhaps, please say no. I simply want to get an idea about what you think about Facebook Horizon. I believe that it's going to be a big topic, and yeah, people are going to start to build things. People are going to invite their friends, and it looked really, really interesting. So yeah, Chris Schuler says yes. And lots of people say yes, but also some people say no. We'll see about that. We'll see about this. I think it's very interesting that, people can build their own games. People can invite people over to their space. And so we have lots of yes. We also have quite a few no's. So this is going to be interesting part to follow. But you know what? I believe that VR needs to become more social than it is now. We don't have this one app where we go to hang out with our friends, right? Do we? No, we don't have, right? So this is at the moment the thing that is missing, and Oculus and Facebook, they're bringing it out right now, and Facebook Horizon is going to go into a closed beta. Let me just check this in my notes. Really soon, for sure. I think this was also early, launching next year. Launching next year, exactly. So Facebook Horizon's definitely going to be a very, very exciting platform to meet friends. They want to build something like the Oasis, right? This is what it looked like. Super, super interesting. All right, then Mark Zuckerberg left the stage and we heard about AR. So yes, Oculus is working on AR glasses. This was like a very hugely displayed there. Oculus is working on AR glasses, and then we heard some rather technical details about how they're making live maps. So how Facebook and Oculus, how they're actually like trying to map the real world and bringing it all into AR. And we saw some quite interesting videos there, how they imagine this to be. Like there was this one moment where where people were sitting around a table, and then one of their friends joined them like virtually, and you could see like a ghost version of that friend sitting at that table. Very well done. Definitely, I believe that this is going to happen just like this. And yeah, super, super exciting. Definitely AR is going to be a huge topic, and well, Oculus is going to be right there. So this is going to be a big fight between Oculus, Apple, and also Google, because for sure Google is also working on that. So there was that little part about AR which was rather interesting. Then we heard more details about the Quest, even more, and we found out that a new pass-through Plus is going to appear on Quest starting from next week. So this means like we can easily, in any situation, in any game that we just double tap on the Oculus button, at least that's what it looked like, and we can then peek into our real worlds thanks to the cameras, and then we can see what's going on in our real world. And this is going to be called pass-through on demand. Then we heard about something about the Oculus Go. So the Oculus Go was still talked about, at least for like 5 minutes. And Oculus Go apps are coming to Quest. Certain ones, like up to 50 ones, are coming to Quest. And for some of them, you can upgrade for free to the Quest version. Like Thumper was called out there, and until the end of the year, you can upgrade your Oculus Go Thumper from the Go to the Quest. And we also heard some technical details like Vulkan and fixed foveated rendering support is coming for the Quest. And also for the backends for developers, there's more data that you can now look into, so more metrics which will allow you to fine-tune your app even more. Then we heard something really interesting. And we heard about mixed reality capture for the Quest. Now, you know all these amazing videos that we see where people are playing Beat Saber and you can see them in the virtual worlds. So this is something that is possible right now on your computer with an awesome app called Live. And it seems like they're building some kind of Live competitor, right? So you will be able to do this kind of things, this kind of mixed reality capture on your Quest. And this is pretty amazing. This is also coming soon. Also interesting for developers that at the moment, when you develop games and you want to check if everything works fine, you have to put the APKs onto the Quest, and it's like kind of like complicated, or it's time consuming to do that. Now they have introduced something called remote rendering. So you simply push a button on your computer and then automatically it will be rendered to your Quest, and this will make life for developers much easier. Then, while we have so many announcements, really so many announcements, then we heard about new social features on the Oculus platform. And what are these social features? Well, they will include Facebook more into the Oculus system. So it will be easier for you to share what you play onto Facebook and to share it with your friends on Messenger, for example. And one interesting thing that they talked about were deep links. So what are deep links? So, well, let's say I am in an Oculus Quest game right now, and I'm in a certain level, and I'm in a certain level that probably I can play together with somebody else. Now I can share a deep link with my friends. I can send them that link and then they click on it and then they put on their quest and then they're at the same place together with you. And this is definitely interesting. And they called it destinations and rich presence. So these destinations are like shared spaces. And well, with this rich presence, you can send out those deep links and you can meet there much easier. So this is going to be much, much easier. Yeah, what else was there? We heard about Oculus TV. It's going to be easier to hang out with more friends. And there's something interesting for content creators like me, for example. It's called Media Studio. So I can upload immersive content, probably 360 content or VR 180 content. And it's going to be easier for you to get to that content on Oculus TV. It's definitely something that I should probably try out. Yeah, then we heard about more information about Facebook Horizon. Closed beta earlier next year, and yeah, they showed some more information like if you want to go into other worlds, you go through portals. Yeah, very much like in the Oasis. Yeah, very well done. Next, we heard about Oculus Business. So business and enterprise, definitely a huge topic also for Oculus. We learned that actually their Oculus Business platform is going to launch this November, and this business platform allows it for enterprise and businesses to have Oculus devices, Quest and Go, and to control them from like one control and admin center where you can like control which apps should run there and what exactly should run there. And this is definitely very interesting for businesses. We saw some applications where actually like there was a surgical simulator and the lady from Johnson & Johnson was talking how they're actually using this to train surgeons, and this definitely looked really interesting. Oculus for Business launching this November. Then they gave us games. Yeah, finally, then they were giving us games. And definitely that was pretty interesting as well. So the Beat Saber guys were on stage, which I thought was really cool. They talked about the Beat Saber 360 mode, which is going to be a reality for everyone very soon. And they told us about their new Panic at the Disco music pack, which is going to arrive next week. So for all of us Beat Saber fans, and I believe most of us are Beat Saber fans, this is going to happen next week, the new Panic at the Disco music pack. Yeah, then we heard about a new game coming to the Oculus Quest, and this new game is actually playing in the Boneworks universe. They actually didn't say what the name of this game is, but they simply said it's going to come next year, and it's in the Boneworks universe, and it's a dedicated Quest game. Yeah, then we heard about Vader Immortal Episode 2, and we saw the launch trailer of Vader Episode 2. And did I understand it correctly that Vader Episode 2 is available now? I'm not sure if I caught that right. Please, if you could simply say yes, if Vader Immortal Episode 2 is available right now. Did I catch that correctly? That Vader Immortal Episode 2 is out now? Please do say yes if that's actually the case. I'm not sure if I caught that correctly during the stream. Yes? Okay. Vader 2 is available now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This means I kind of know what I'm going to do later. Oh my god, after the stream. Woo! So yeah, Vader Immortal Episode 2 out now. I'm going to play that later today, and it's going to be pretty amazing. Probably I should stream that though. What do you think? Should I stream that? I probably should stream that, but then probably you don't want to get spoiled, right? Not sure. I have to think about that. Yeah, and then we also got some interesting news about Asgard's Wrath and Stormland. So we finally got launch dates for Asgard's Wrath and Stormland. So Asgard's Wrath has around 40 hours of gameplay, and it's going to come out on October the 10th. So really soon. This is like two weeks. Around 2 weeks. Wow, this is amazing. So Asgard's Wrath coming out October the 10th with around 40 hours of playing time, even more if you are a completionist. Then Stormlands. Stormlands is going to come out on November the 14th. Oh yes, so we can play Asgard's Wrath from October 10th to November 14th, and then we can start to play Stormland. Really exciting. Very much looking forward to play both of these games, and you can be sure that I'm going to cover Asgard's Wrath and Stormland in very high detail here on the channel, because as you know, Season 3 of MRTV is coming up, and there's going to be at least one show dedicated to gaming only, because I heard you love what I'm doing with the hardware, but you also want more games. So yes, more games are happening on this channel. Say yes if you love that. Yeah, all right, really cool. And then we also heard about something new, and this was quite a good surprise. Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor franchise is coming to Oculus. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond is coming. And yeah, I believe that we're going to hear more about that. And I think we already have some, hands-on already from Tested, from the guys at Tested. They were able to play that already. So then we can have a look how this looks like in VR. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, a second World War game. Definitely looking forward to that. This is going to be pretty amazing. So, what's next? Then we're already nearly at the end of the whole show. We had a brush going onto stage, and he told us about his vision of the future again for VR. And this time we heard more again about the Half Dome prototype, and it was like VR porn. I mean, not really, but very close to that. Yeah, so it was like hearing about Half Dome 2, a new version of Half Dome, and then Half Dome 3. Yeah, things were escalating rather quickly there with what Abrash said. So what did they do with Half Dome? So first of all, Half Dome is like a prototype of some research that they're doing. They want to increase the FOV, and they did this with like 140 degrees, and they do all of this with a varifocal lens, a lens that would move depending on where you look. This was Half Dome 1, but now with Half Dome 2 and 3, they have actually changed something. They don't move the lens mechanically, but they have some electronic lenses, so they don't need to move anymore, but different kind of lenses can be activated depending on where you look at. So with this kind of technology, they were able to make the whole thing much smaller, and they did show their Half Dome 3 prototype, and actually they designed it to look like the VR headset of Ready Player One. Let's face it, I don't have the picture here right now because everything is happening live here, but that Half Dome 3 prototype, it does look like the VR headset of Ready Player One. Do you agree? Do you agree with that? Did you also see that? I think you did. So this was pretty amazing. Yeah, then Abrash did talk about avatars. So he showed up that amazing research of Facebook where they kind of you put on the headset, and still with cameras, they catch what you do with your face, your facial expressions, and they perfectly, I mean, really, it looked so perfect. They perfectly represent that in the virtual worlds, and they did look amazing. I can't wait for that future to happen. It was pretty breathtaking. So this is definitely one thing which is going to happen. And they also showed off that they don't only have this for the face, they also now can bring your body into VR with perfectly tracking your body and all of these things going on. And then Abrash said like his perfect virtual collaborative workspace would work with all of these things coming together. That varifocal lens, that avatars with the perfect tracking of your face and also of your body, and that basically was it. And Abrash said some like moving words, as in like, wow, we're still at the very beginning. The good old days, they will last a bit longer. We are here in the good old days, and he wanted to make us cry by saying like, wow, what an amazing time it is to be alive, and that you VR enthusiasts, and that we all can make this happen together. Yes, and that was Oculus Connect 6. I really hope that you enjoyed this live stream. If yes, why don't you give it a big thumbs up, because that was actually my biggest live stream ever, live streaming to like 2,000 people. Well, it was, of course, because of Oculus Connect 6. But if you loved this live stream and if you also loved my summary, do subscribe to this channel, because there's going to be much more about Oculus here on this channel, about all of VR, not only Oculus, also Pimax, also the Vive Cosmos, which I'm going to get very soon, and I'm going to review it for you here on this channel. Lots of good stuff is happening on this channel. So if you loved this stream, do give it a thumbs up now and tell your VR enthusiast friends about MRTV, because this channel is very, very good. All right, guys and girls, that's truly everything that I have for you guys. Make sure to subscribe, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode. Why wouldn't I actually also stream the second part, the keynote on day 2? And yes, I'm going to do that tomorrow as well. So I'm going to stream the keynote of the second day. So be here tomorrow again. And the easiest way to be here tomorrow again is to subscribe to this channel and click on that bell button so don't miss tomorrow's stream. Again, Oculus Connect 6 keynote was amazing. I loved it. And I'm looking forward to the future of VR. This was so sweet. That's it for me. I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode.